How's it going, everybody? Sip gang, leg team, gang, all of that. We have our buddy Dark Surfer Phil with a video that he's been hyping up for weeks now. Yeah, he's been hyping this shit up at least 3 weeks. Piece of popcorn. At least 3 weeks, maybe more than that. Right? But it's finally here. Finally, I say that with maximum sarcasm. Got uploaded about 9 something my time, which is great. Hour long video. Hopefully I'm not here 2 hours. I'm gonna really like fucking struggle to not pause so much. It's not gonna work out, let's be honest here. But it's called 6 years with Machinima. Ups, downs, and the bizarre end. Got me something to drink tonight. Got me some diesel. If you don't know what diesel is, it's basically grain alcohol. It's not even basically, it is grain alcohol. Mixed with some G Fuel, some orange juice, some flavored Svedka vodka, whatever it's called. And yeah, that's it. So it's pretty fucking strong. I already been drinking for a couple hours, so I'm probably not gonna finish what I got. Might hate myself by the end of this video. But let's look at the comments. No, let's description first, of course. If you're thinking of partnering with Machinima, or you're currently a partner with them now, you should definitely watch this video first. Let me move my fucking microphone. I've been a YouTuber since 2008, and I've done this for a living since early 2011. From that point until February 2017, I remained one of the long-running mainstay partners with the Machinima network. It was certainly a tumultuous time, and over the years, none of this makes sense. Over the years, it's been a tumultuous time. No, tumultuous time. And over the years, Machinima both aided me greatly in my YouTube success, but also led to several unexpected setbacks that blindsided myself and my business. His YouTube channel is his business. Well, I mean, now it's his YouTube and his Twitch. Machinima decided to end their partnership with me seemingly out of the blue, and my viewers have wanted to know the real story behind it. Remember when he said it was a mutual thing? He'd been saying it was a mutual thing for weeks, and now Machinima has ended it with him. This has already been spoiled from by the way, thanks to that bastard. They call me text. You can fucking spam him on Twitter. But at the same time, when I tested the audio, I clicked a random sound, like a random area in this video. It was around like 50 something minutes, and it was like, oh, they fucking did the partnership with me. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't want to hear that. So I'm spoiled on that hot surprise. He outlined the major points of the 6-year history of Machinima as both a company and as an MCN. He didn't deal with them as a company. He only dealt with them as an MCN, including the good and the bad, and I explain the truth behind our eventual separation. Note, nothing in this vlog is considered a violation of any non-disclosure agreement, as no specifics to any contract that I signed with Machinima are disclosed. However, I feel the generalities are good enough to convey the message. It doesn't matter. He not signed with Machinima anymore. He can literally tell us how much he got paid to the dollar, like to the penny. They can't do anything to him now, because he's not signed to him anymore, not a part of the contract. Check out my Teespring store. Yeah. Fuck it, no. Didn't you say you quit Machinima, but in the video you directly say they chose the partnership, but we said in the description. Is it deleting comments? I have a short attention span, not gonna watch all of this. First, sorry, thought I would never say that. Yeah, you need to hold the fucking L. Been watching since fucking 1925, of course, is one of those people. Surprised the comments aren't disabled. Yeah, I am too. 5630. Ooh, the irony. Let me listen to this.
Would anyone want to be? Who would want to be with a company who talks down to you, and when you tell them that you've been insulted, they just say, "Well, fuck you," and they throw you away like that, right? It's insane. That's ridiculous. That's one of the worst things you could possibly do.
That's what he do to like his Twitch mods and stuff. He literally said, if this is how it's gonna be treated, then I don't want to be partnered. There was no out of the blue. That was them taking it in the... Wait, what? You literally said, if this is how it's going to be treated, then I don't want to be partnered. There was no out of the blue. Apparently he had a discussion with Machinima then. and he said he don't want to be pardoned if he get treated a certain way, and they got rid of him. Pro player, my fucking ass. Is not shaving your sideburns to be even part of your begging scheme? Yeah, it's been, people called him out for being even forever now. And it's really uneven.
Me, I've been with that.
Distractingly uneven. He went to the barbershop for his birthday. He couldn't fix his sideburns? I love your channel, but after saving you from insolvency, it seems a little, that's a very fucking obtuse ass word. It seems a little, some fucking fact. Some fucking asshole. See, this is why I don't need to drink diesel. I might as well say it, some fucking faggot. It's gonna write a fucking paragraph long comment. Oh, you try to sit up here and act like you know what you're talking about, and you think you're so smart and you don't know what insolvency means? You're a fucking idiot. So fuck you, Keizo. If you seem it seems a little ungrateful of you to whine about promoting their videos or having their intro at the beginning of your video. Oh, I guess Machinima told him to do that and he bringing it up in retrospect now. You've grown a lot in the past couple of years, but there's still a ways to go. Best wishes to your future. Yeah, I get the gimmick. 52 minutes is what you're here for. That thumbnail is gold. It's him making fucking paranoid eyes.
Go and talk to anyone else within the company but this customer service line ever. That was it.
Fuck it, I'll just hear it when I get to it. But here we go, from the beginning. What is going on, everyone?
What is going on, everyone? Darkside Phil here. Welcome to a special vlog. This vlog, I really didn't know if I was ever going to be making anything like this, quite honestly. Being that for the majority of the time that I have been doing YouTube for a living.
It's funny because people always make the I'm going to be eating popcorn meme joke, and I actually have popcorn. But I was going to eat it anyway.
I was partnered with a company, an MCN, one of these big partnership networks on YouTube called Machinima. And I partnered with Machinima way back when, in early 2011. This was at a time when very few YouTubers were monetizing gameplay videos. In fact, at that time, it was a very tumultuous time where the gaming videos on YouTube were very popular, but a lot of them would constantly be hit with copyright strikes and issues, and it was kind of a very iffy scenario if people would ever be able to make money doing it. I was actually one of the people who was considered the pioneer.
We're just going to get his life story, by the way. I hope you're prepared. This is like the 30th fucking time we sat through this life story on my YouTube channel.
Doing it. A lot of people saw me doing it and said, oh shit, Phil was able to find a partnership and he was able to monetize his gameplay videos because he was with this partnership, and they kind of jumped along with it too. And now here we are, you know, some 6+ years later, and YouTube is absolutely flooded with thousands of people doing gameplay videos on a daily basis that are monetized. It was kind of cool being there at the very beginning of this whole movement on YouTube of monetizing gameplay videos and doing it for a living, okay? Now, the reason I'm making this video is because after a 6-year partnership with Machinima, it was just about 1 month ago that I basically severed my ties with the company. And yeah, there was some little red tape I had to jump through there. I had to wait for
he severed his ties.
I had for my 2 YouTube channels, DSP Gaming and also KO Gaming, to kind of expire. And KO Gaming just expired about a week ago. But now I am completely free from them. I'm actually now partnered with a different company on YouTube. Okay. And a lot of people want to know why. A lot of people want to know what happened, Phil, because you've been with this company for 6 years. And it's funny because when I partnered with Machinima back in 2011, they were actually known as one of the major heavy-hitting partnership companies on YouTube. They were one of those pioneering companies that allowed gamers for the first time to put advertisements on their video gameplay and make money doing it. So they were huge. And then over the years, I hate to say it, I mean, I'm just being matter of fact here, the reputation of Machinima kind of went down and down and down and down.
Over the years, the reputation for him went down and down and down. So it all evens up. Perfect partnership.
For various different reasons. Now, the good news is, for me, I was never really affected by any of that negativity or controversy.
No one was.
I wasn't in any of the stuff that was
well, I guess some people were, if you think about it this way.
Perspective here. There was at one point several years ago when the Xbox One first released.
Why is this being talked about?
If you were with Machinima, like I was, if you made videos covering the Xbox One, and you put certain like tags and stuff in your videos, and you were only positive about the console, like you had to be super positive about the console and all of that, then you get paid extra money from Machinima, okay? The problem was they didn't have anyone disclose in their descriptions of their videos or even in the videos that basically those videos were overly positive paid advertisements, which actually is a violation of United States law. So Machinima ended up getting in a ton of trouble because of this, because they brought in all this money, ad revenue from Microsoft, right? All this program revenue from Microsoft for advertising their console positively.
Why is he going on about this so much?
Advertisements, and they had to pay a settlement to the United States government in order
completely
to
irrelevant info right there.
I was never affected by any of that because I didn't participate in that stuff. My coverage on YouTube, on Twitch, has always been considered 100% independent. You're never going to see a paid advertisement from me, or if it is one ever, you'll know it is because I'll tell you.
You see how he immediately backed out of that statement? You're never going to see a paid advertisement by me. It's pre-streams from him, not even 2 months old, where he said that a dev wanted to give him a game and give him money, and he would play the game. Also, he played Hawking or some shit way back in the day, and that was a paid advertisement. That's why he immediately went back on that. If you see it, I'm gonna tell you.
Definitely list it.
What quality is this? It's got this 720p.
I would never ever to make
Look
a dollar.
little rough. But I do have it in full screen on a 1080 monitor. I'm really stretching and trying to play this 1080p, by the way, because my internet is not very nice to me. It still looks like shit. You need to get a new camera.
Try to pull the wool over your
like he streams with Facecam every day. He gets dozens to hundreds of dollars in donations a day. He needs to buy a new camera. He being a fucking cheap ass.
I would never do that.
My camera not that good, and I got a better camera than him.
And you may not even realize some of the bigger YouTubers you watch do this all the time, but I would never do that, okay? And I never have, okay? So, all this controversy and the negativity that seems to have been surrounding Machinima and been involved with Machinima, I kind of was never affected by it because I never was involved with any of that controversy. But I have heard things over the years. Machinima's getting worse. And did you hear what they did here or there? Every once in a while, I get pinged by someone. And
You would
did
get
you hear
pinged.
this big thing about Machinima? I'd be like, no, because all I do, I sit here, I stream, I record, I upload. That's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the
let me
extent of my
close
relationship with them. They send me a paycheck.
this OBS
and that's
preview.
it, okay? Now, over the years, Machinima has definitely.
It's gonna take a fucking long time to get to the point of this video, isn't it?
Said, what is going on with this company? How could they?
Jesus Christ,
so
this
A lot of
dude.
people tell me that a lot of the shows that Machinima used to be.
I could probably get up and go and do something and come back, and he'll still be talking about this irrelevant shit.
The people are fired. The people who used to be on these popular shows, and so a lot of people are very upset with Machinima for various reasons. I've heard horror stories of people who had this relationship with Machinima that couldn't get out of their Machinima contract or this or that. All this kind of stuff going on. I never had that relationship with Machinima ever. I never had this negativity. So for me, my experience for the vast majority of the time that I was with Machinima was a very positive one, all right? But obviously something changed and something happened because I'm not with them anymore. And a lot of it, there's been a ton of speculation over this past month. What specifically happened?
A ton of speculation from the 20 people that care.
Stayed with Machinima the longest, and he stuck up.
He never stuck up for him. He just would say that they treat him good. It's not sticking up for him.
The bottom line is you can't fire me because I never worked for that, okay? And I see idiots making videos.
You can't fire me because I never worked for them. In this video, he said that they decided to like sever their ties and end the contract. Ending a contract is the same thing as getting fired. If John Cena like gets fired by the WWE, wouldn't that just be them ending their contract with him? Can John Cena say, "Oh, I didn't get fired"? Come on, dude.
Fired. I was never working for Machinima to begin with. I was in what was called
Explain.
a partnership agreement. It's an at-will agreement.
Okay.
Both sides need to agree to
When you work a shitty 9 to 5, you have an agreement with the business to work for them, though.
Business-wise, and at any time,
a job could be severed. At any time, you can say, "I don't want to work anymore," and leave, and never come back.
Or by them, okay. And it kind of was a mutual.
It was a mutual thing, but in this video, he pretty much say that it's not.
It was certainly a weird thing. And what I want to do now is in this video, and I know it's going to probably go long. I want to tell you about my experiences with Machinima.
Play Persona while I watch this.
I can't disclose any specific contractual facts or figures. I can't tell you how much money I made.
But you can though, because you're not signing them anymore. They can't do anything to you.
In general terms, all right.
Whatever.
I can't give you numbers, but I can tell you about maybe certain things they did over the years.
How much money he made with him is irrelevant anyway.
Behind the scenes with staffing, because the bottom line is Machinima is one of the most tumultuous, chaotic.
He used the word tumultuous.
Honestly, just
amalgamous. He used the word tumultuous twice in this video, and he also used it in the description. Let me see if I can find it. He used the word twice in the video. We're not even 10 minutes in, and he used it once in the description. It's tumultuous' word of the day. Did the Sesame Street Club send him a fucking email saying use the word tumultuous? He's never used that word before. I never heard him use it before. But now we use the word tumultuous and amalgamous.
Worked with in my life. So from the day that I partnered with Machinima to like a few months after, to a year after, to a year after, to a year after, that company just kept changing.
You mean to tell me a
constantly.
company changed?
New staff,
No
new
way.
initiatives,
That's
new
stupid.
focuses, new drives, new things that were dictated to the partners that they had to do. Then all of a sudden, within a whim, it would just be completely forgotten. Messages that would be sent out
really
generally
need
to the
something new.
partners covering major games that made no sense because it didn't even make sense per Let's Play criteria for the things that they were saying. I'll give you some examples during the course of this video. Like one example would be when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. Machinima sent out an email to all the partners saying you should play the game with no music and you shouldn't put any cutscenes in your Let's Play. And everyone's like, what? Like, are you stupid? Like, that's the point of a Let's Play, is to have a legitimate coverage of the game. If you have no cutscenes, you're only doing...
If I remember right, because I remember when this happened, I think he given us half the story. I think Machinima said that, but Machinima said that because Rockstar said it. Or Rockstar said something similar, and Machinima just relayed the information. But of course, that quickly got thrown out the fucking window because Rockstar not stupid. And it's funny because all these years later, we got Alice, and you can't play the game past July the 7th gimmick that no one has listened to so far. But that's not the point of this video.
Not even a Let's Play, you're just basically doing highlighted gameplay. And everyone was planning to do a full Let's Play of Grand Theft Auto 5, and no other partnership network sent out this kind of notice to their partners. Why did Machinima do it? And this is what I mean. Machinima would have these weird initiatives and weird directives that they would do, and then they'd abandon them all suddenly. And it was just so bizarre. So allow me to give you the full story. Let's all start way back when in 2010. In late 2010, I'd been doing YouTube for 2 years as a hobby. I had never made a penny.
Why do we
doing
need to
it.
do this? It's no point. And then he's saying, he's going to go on with the gimmick of, I did YouTube without expecting to get paid or without making money. No Let's Player can make money. Congratulations. You fit in with everybody else. When he says that shit, he acts like everybody else is making millions of dollars and he didn't want to make money doing it because he was morally above it or some fucking corny shit like that. And he wasn't. He didn't make money doing YouTube when he first started because he couldn't make money doing YouTube when he first started. So he can kill that shit. The dude went to Blip TV after he got fired from his real job. He went to Blip TV just so he could make money because Let's Players couldn't make money back then either. And then when Blip TV fucking flew out the fucking window, and he was able to sign with Machinima, and it was just the gravy churn after that. But he talks about it like he had a choice. He didn't have a choice. He's just full of shit. And he liked to spend his fucking shitty initiative is not the word. I don't know what the fucking word is. I can't think of it right now. I've been drinking.
Intentions of making money doing it. I just liked making videos.
No one had the intention of making money because nobody made money doing it. Unless you maybe ran a website and you made money from ads from the website. But nobody had the thought of, man, I could play a game poorly and like barely talk about the game or barely talk at all when I play it and get paid just for views and uploading it. Nobody thought they could do that back then because nobody was able to do it. But he talked about it in retrospect like he was so morally fucking above getting paid for Let's Plays. Kill that shit, man.
For fun and putting them on the internet and getting attention for it. It was fun and sincere.
And getting attention for it.
Excited and contacting me and me getting popularity on the internet for something that I really enjoyed, being a gamer, a lifelong gamer, all right?
A lifelong gamer that has missed about 12 years of games because he only played Street Fighter.
Intended that I would get laid off from my job in 2010. I had an office job for almost 5 years. I was getting commendations at this job, and then within 2 months,
he's actually going over how we got fired.
Another case of another company doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And by the way, that company I used to work for is pretty much on its last legs and almost out of business. All the people who work.
Guess what, DSP? You on your last legs and almost out of business too. Which is why you got a fucking Teespring link over your head and a Patreon link next to your microphone. If you'd have went to DSP 4 years ago and said, "Hey Phil, this is how your vlogs are gonna look," he would have called you a shithead and told you to shut the fuck up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. He actually has the nerve to shit on other companies that's going out of business that was doing good back then. When he was doing good back then, and he going out of business himself. The dude can't even get married because he's not making enough money. But he can get engaged because he's stupid. Give me a break.
Jobs got outsourced,
Yeah.
and they're basically done. So signs of the times when you have someone who you think is a great employee, you fucking compliment them, you give them commendations, you lay them off, and within 3-4 years your company is done, right? But
3-4 years.
I was left in a rock and a hard place. There's nothing I could do. I had no money coming in, no income at all. And the job industry, especially in Connecticut back then, was horrible. There was no way I was going to get another job of the same level of what I had, paying what I had, in any kind of a short amount of time. There was no way even getting 2-3 part-time jobs that I'd be able to make enough money to keep my condo, to pay my car payments, and to pay all my bills, basically. I was up shit's creek. And so I said, maybe I can make YouTube work. Maybe I can make this work. And I tried everything. I tried doing regular AdSense on my vlogging channel because back then you couldn't monetize gameplay videos. It wouldn't be allowed. So I tried just monetizing my vlogs. That didn't work out. Then I tried going to a different site. That didn't work out. Finally, I was on my wit's end. And this funny thing had actually happened in late 2010 that led to me being partnered with Machinima. A lot of people don't know this story. There's a person named Hutch who basically was doing gameplay videos on YouTube. He was scouted by Machinima. They had interaction. I guess maybe he got partnered with them or whatever. And he ended up actually becoming hired by them, employed by them. And he moved to California and he was working.
Yeah, anybody watched Hutch videos? That's like vintage shit right now.
I guess either I had said something in a vlog that pissed Hutch off, or Hutch had said something in one of his videos and someone asked me about it on one of my Q&A shows.
He gonna pretend like he don't remember what happened?
About him, or he had talked about me. I don't even remember how it happened. But basically, we had beef. There was a big disagreement between the two of us. And at that point, to see two big gaming YouTubers going at it was actually a big thing. And
it's a big thing now.
Back and forth, the drama,
it's even more of a big thing now.
It ended up, it was a misunderstanding. I actually don't, at this point, don't even remember what the fuck the disagreement was.
But you remember this
at
specific part.
We ended up kind of talking
you remember these specific parts, but he doesn't remember why it even originated.
Back then, people actually used private and direct messages on YouTube. Not anymore. I haven't used one in like fucking 5+ years. But back then they were used and implemented. And we had a dialogue back and forth. And basically, this is
all worthless information, by the way. No one cares about any of this.
There was no reason for beef, and we kind of left on amicable terms, almost being mutually respectful of each other. Okay. So after I lost my job in late 2010, spent 2-3 months floundering around trying to find a way to make ends meet and make enough money to pay my bills. I got fed up, and I went to Hutch, and I said, Hutch, listen, I literally have no idea.
He went begging to Hutch to get hired by Machinima.
Whatsoever. I have no idea if this will benefit me. But the bottom line is this. I lost my job.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about this story because he never talked about it.
And the fan base is behind me 100%. I tried a couple things, not working. Is there anything that Machinima could maybe do to help me out? Maybe I could get a job with Machinima, or I don't know what's going on right now.
He legit went begging to Hutch to get money from Machinima, pretty much.
Wow. My channel, DSP Gaming, and he said, "Wow, you got a lot of viewership."
He never told us about this.
Yeah, let's get you in. And he ended up signing me up for their partnership contract. Now, by the way, back then in 2011, the partnerships on YouTube were very different than they are today. They were all actually at that point view-based. Meaning you would get a certain amount of views on a video. And
man.
Make a flat rate
Truly the gravy train back then.
So I'll throw out, this is completely fabricated, by the way, what I'm about to tell you. But let's say per 10,000 views, you would make
everyone knows you don't get money that way. Per 10,000 views.
That's how it would work. Now, of course, it would be calculated an approximate formula that they would use.
Rambo already said how much you make anyway.
Total views, times whatever the formula was, boom, here's what you made.
How much he made,
at least.
Least.
These kind of contracts were good.
Yeah, view base is fucking godlike. Oh man, if they still had contracts like that, people would be fucking.
So for me,
people would be floating in yachts.
Perfectly. I wasn't at the whims of YouTube ad revenue, where one month YouTube had a bunch of advertisers and the next month they didn't, and you have this constant roller coaster ride of ad revenue on YouTube. For me, it was just keep the viewers happy, keep them coming in and watching videos, and make money, profit, and go. And let me tell you something, folks. That first year that I was partnered with Machinima, I made a ridiculous fuck ton of money. More money than I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to say how much it was because, again, I can't violate my contract or anything like that. I made a really big chunk of money. Now, the sad thing about it was I had a lot of debt in my name. Credit card debt, student loan debt, a ton of debt and stuff in my name from my previous life before YouTube. So what I ended up doing is all that money that I made that first year, that giant wad of money, literally just went and paid off all of the debt that I had from previous years. The debt that never was going to go away because it was credit card debt and stuff like that. And it would have just kept accumulating and everything if I hadn't paid it off like that. So that was good. I actually got myself, within that first year to year and a half of being partnered with Machinima, got myself to a good financial position where my credit rating started to go up and up because I didn't have any more bad debt in my name anymore. It was just income, and a mortgage, which is good, and a car loan, which is good. Those things are good. So started going up and up and up, okay? So the first year with Machinima was good. I actually had a direct point of contact. If anything ever went wrong and I needed to talk to Machinima, I would email this person. I'd be able to get a contact right back pretty quickly. I remember that first year we had literally almost no issues. I remember not having any copyright. I take that back because there might have been one, but I don't remember, like, in general, a bunch of problems with copyright strikes. I don't remember a bunch of issues with much of anything. If there ever was a problem, immediately I could almost get a response right away from Machinima because I had that direct point of contact, and it all worked out so well. And in fact, it worked out so well that first year, all right, that I was considered one of Machinima's top partners. And they actually contacted me personally, and they said they wanted to have a sit-down with me, well, not really a sit-down, but, a conference over the phone regarding myself, the growth of my channel, the future, and all kinds of stuff like that.
I gotta hear
so I
this.
ended up doing that. I don't remember who.
Of course he doesn't remember who it was.
This phone call with. But basically, mid to late 2011, I had this phone call, and they were like, so, what do you want to do with your channel in the future? And I explained, I want to split it up. I have this series that I do called Ask the King, and I have this series called The Week in Preview, but eventually I might want to split that because I noticed that those videos don't get as much attention when they're grouped in with all my gameplay stuff. I might want to do a channel where I only do game reviews and stuff like that. But then the weirdest thing happened. During this conversation, the guy said, but outside of YouTube, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'm just on the up and up on YouTube. Like, this is the beginnings of something great here in 2011. Why would I want to think about leaving YouTube?
It's not about leaving YouTube.
Kind of bizarre. The way that this guy, the conversation went, he was trying to almost gearing me towards, you don't want to do YouTube. You only want to do this short term, and then you want to do something else. And honestly, I'll be honest here, that kind of gave me the idea in the back of my head that eventually I would want to do something else outside of YouTube.
No. If somebody have a conversation with you about doing YouTube as a job, and they say, what do you want to do outside YouTube? That's not the same as if he was to say, what do you want to do besides YouTube? Outside of YouTube can mean, well, I got this YouTube channel and I do pretty good. I'm a fucking start a radio show, and I could promote my fucking shitty radio show on YouTube, and then someday the radio show might blow up. It's like if you was to walk up to LeBron James and say, what do you want to do outside of basketball? LeBron James does a lot of stuff outside of basketball that's only available to him to do because of basketball. I think that's what the dude was trying to imply. But no, that means leave YouTube. You can't do two things at once. It's impossible.
I even remember, like, he started saying, well, what other things are you into? And I was like, well, fighting games. He's like, oh, fighting games. Did you notice that Street Fighter 4 has been starting to get live streamed now? You think maybe you want to get into that? Maybe you could be a game commentator. And I said, well, I did used to be a pro player. I have a lot of knowledge of the series, and I probably could add a lot. And he's like, that's it. Yeah, that's what you should do.
Did he really say this, DSP?
A competitive games commentator in the future. And by the end of the conversation, I was so, like, confused. Like, what was the point of this conversation? I thought the conversation was going to be about the growth of my channel and all this stuff. And by the end, he was trying to convince me to be a games
He could have did that stuff, though.
But that's what I mean. This is the kind of stuff that happens
with Machinima behind him.
Shit out of me. By the way, that
of
guy
course he doesn't work there
during
anymore.
This call about the development of my channel.
Oh,
never
okay.
spoke to him again. It was like I talked to him once. That was it. I never heard from him again. Never heard anything further about channel development. Never heard about being a games commentator ever again.
Probably because you had a bad conversation. Because you was sitting up to being confused about everything he said, and you probably didn't respond to it.
So things went along swimmingly with me.
It's always other people's problem, though.
And late 2011, early 2012, I actually got contacted by Machinima. Now, keep in mind, I had almost no contact with this company. I didn't have constant contact or whatever. They didn't contact me in regards to, oh, we need you to do this or that, or oh, we'd like you to do this for an event.
Yeah, I'm not going to finish this. This shit is too fucking strong.
I just put out videos, make money on them, profit, and that's it. And if there's an issue, I contact them. But outside of that, I never really hear from them. All right. I ended up getting contacted by them, saying, "Guess what? Machinima's doing so great that we have this new program."
He told us about this before.
We're going to give you
you get a bonus amount.
So if you can hit a certain viewership level every month, you're going to make incremental bonus percentages on the money you already make. You're going to make more money. Of course, I was thrilled at this. I was like, bonuses sound good to me. This program only existed for about 2 to 3 months, and then they completely discontinued it and said it was on hold. And then next thing you know, they later on announced that they were discontinuing the program and they were going to renegotiate
Wow.
everyone's contract.
So they mismanaged their money.
Because that was actually late 2012, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that's another thing. I mean, early 2012, everything's going great, folks. We're making so much money. We're going to put you into this special
If that
bonus
already happened,
program.
they mismanaged
We're
their money,
excited.
definitely.
Okay, motivate my viewers. Come on, come watch my videos. I'm within the bonus structure. I'm supposed to be earning it within 2-3 months. They cancel the whole program, and the next thing you know, oh, we're going to give you a pay cut. What? That's how Machinima operates. They're so weird. They have initiatives that sound good, and then all of a sudden they drop the entire initiative and change their
Paying
minds about
extra for
everything.
doing the same
Okay.
thing isn't necessarily an
If you
initiative.
really want my opinion on it, I think it's because they're very disorganized. I think they're a company that constantly fluctuates.
DSP is calling someone
and doesn't know what they
disorganized, by the
wanna
way.
be. Because if you actually look at
The dude that needs to
history of
have a
Machinima,
calendar to know
they're
what
a
games he
partnership
wants to
company
play.
on YouTube, but they also have their own channels where they have their own shows and things going on YouTube. They worked on this Halo series for a while and did this Halo Reach series and stuff like that. That made no sense. A live-action TV-like series.
It
Why did they
made
do
no-
that? I don't know,
wait.
but that's what they did.
A live action
And then they-
series from Machinima made no sense. DSP, you did Project 7. That was a live action series that made no fucking sense. It made even less sense. What the hell are you talking about?
Later on did other series. Remember they did, wasn't it the Mortal Kombat series, right? The live action Mortal Kombat. Why did they do that?
Why did you
I
do
don't
Project
know.
7?
It's so weird. And by the way, every time they made one of those series, they wanted me to promote the series. And I told them, listen, sorry, I'm not going to link your series to my main page for any extended period of time because I need to promote my own videos to make my own business go. Like, I understand this is your important thing if you want me to mention it to my fans or whatever, but there's no way I'm going to let you dominate my channel for a week because you did this live-action series. That's completely unreasonable. So in a lot of ways, there were disagreements we had over the years, too. You might have noticed also sometimes in my old vlogs and stuff, I had that Machinima logo that would be spinning and rotated and put into the beginning of the video, right? That was something they really were staunchly, you had to do. You had to have Machinima in your related videos. If you're a Machinima partner, you
Related
had to have a Machinima
channels, you
logo
mean?
branded on everything and overlaid on your videos and stuff like that. And then within like a year of saying all that stuff, they never mentioned it again. In fact, so much so that later on, I think it was 2015, if you remember, YouTube was coming down on people who were getting outside sponsorships.
Yeah, I remember
and
this.
having things like
I was gonna
overlays and
bring this up.
advertisements and other related companies' logos in their videos, and they were cracking down and saying, we don't want this anymore. If you want advertisements, you have to come through us. I actually wrote Machinima and said, should I stop using your logo in my videos, editing it in? Should I? And they were like, I don't know. We don't care anymore. What the fuck?
He pretty much admitted himself right here that he used the Machinima logo in the beginning of his video after they even required him to do it. Because they said they only did it for like a year and then they stopped even caring. But he still did it. And then when YouTube cracked down on stuff like that because they called it outside promotion, you know, that they wasn't getting paid for because YouTube want to make all of the money off, you know, a YouTube video, obviously. He emailed Machinima and they was like, we don't fucking care.
See what I mean? Like, it's so confusing. This company is so weird that there's one day their main focus is this one.
I don't think that
program,
was
this
their
one
main
initiative, this one
focus.
exciting thing, and then they just drop the whole thing and completely change. I'll give you some examples, some good examples.
At one point, DSP's main focus was making good YouTube videos. Now his main focus is to make a lot of money on Twitch.
In 2012, all right, I was contacted by Machinima, and they said, are you interested in going to E3? Because we've got this big thing going on for this game called Hawken. It's this first-person...
Was this the year he went to
combat
E3
game
or
for
the year he
PC.
didn't go?
It's coming out in the fall. It's free-to-play, so it's an interesting
promoted
model,
Hawken,
because
by the
a lot of
way.
games at that point had not gone full free-to-play yet. And so they were like, free-to-play... And if you come to E3, you come to this party, basically, you play the game, you do some videos about the game, you advertise it, but we'll get you into E3, and you can cover E3 and do tons of videos of E3, under the branding of Machinima, and it'll be a great event. And I said, why not? And if you remember, I even negotiated with them to get a second pass for John Rambo, and he went out there with me, and I had to pay his way. They paid for my plane ticket and my hotel, but they didn't pay for him, so I had to pay his way.
Why would they pay
to
for
get him out
Rambo?
there. He came out there with me. We had a grand old time. We went to the Hawken party. We went to E3. We covered all the stuff at E3. Remember, that was the year 2012. I went to E3. So here's what happened. I literally, I'm not even kidding you. I linked after E3 ended. Machinima was like, we'd like to see how everyone covered E3 and how you covered Hawken and all of that. Can we have links to
They
your
didn't
footage
like
and
it.
everything? So I gave my contact at that time, another person, not the original contact. I had a different contact. I gave them all the video, link to the playlist of all the videos. I mean, dozens. I think at that point I made like 100 videos at E3. It was insane.
Yeah, it was about 100 videos.
Plus the Hawken videos and everything. I gave him a link to everything. The guy emailed me back. He said, Phil, holy shit. He says, dude, you worked your
He
ass
worked
off.
his
He said,
ass off.
Probably shouldn't say this, but most of the people who he sent out there, they didn't do shit. They went out there, they went to the Hawking party, and then they just fucking partied their ass off all week. Yeah, they did a few videos at E3 here or there, but literally they used it as like a paid vacation. Dude, you worked your butt off. This is great. Like, the guy was so positive with me. He's like, you by far covered it better than anyone we sent out there in 2012. You did the best coverage of E3. So thank you very much for that, because you represented us in a very good manner, you know, showing that our partners go out there and did hard work. And I was blown away by it. I was like, dude,
Is he gonna
if you have
bring
any
up
other
that they
events you
never
wanna
sent
send
him
me
to anything
At
else?
this point, you know, I'm making enough money and I can even pay my way if I need to. I'd be more than happy, because those videos at E3 were incredibly profitable and all that. After E3 2012, I was never contacted whatsoever to get into E3 from Machinima ever again. I was never contacted to get into any event ever again besides PAX.
Shitty
That was the one
PAX.
exception, is for 1 or 2 years.
Everybody go to
I actually
PAX.
got a
It's like
miscellaneous
no-name
email
Twitch streamers
from
be
one of
at
the
PAX
people
for free.
Machinima saying, would you like to get into PAX this year? We can get you into PAX if you want to get in. And incidentally, the years that I got those emails were 2014 and 2015. The 2 years when I definitely couldn't go, because that first year we had just moved in here, and we didn't even have the house fully set up by
What
the
the
time
fuck
that
does that
PAX
have to
West
do with
was going
anything?
on. So we definitely
My
couldn't
house
go. And
doesn't
then the year
have
after,
furniture. I can't go to a convention.
Leanna ended up getting sick. We actually had it arranged that I had passes and everything, and she ended up getting sick and we couldn't go. So
Why did
2 years in a
Leanna
row,
need to
I
go?
left-
She's worthless. No one knows her as a gamer. She's just your girlfriend. She barely known as that. There was no point in her going anyway. It's a waste.
Toonie and I couldn't go. By the way, 2016 got
Because
nothing,
no one cared
offer
about you in
whatsoever to go to
2015.
PAX. And you see what I mean? Like, it's so
Just
weird.
like how
The
we
bottom
say
line is
Machinima went down in popularity, he went down in popularity even faster. In 2014, they kinda cared about sending him packs. In 2015, he was even more of a nobody. He was begging for money on Patreon. He left Twitch. I think he left Twitch in 2014. What the fuck they gonna send him the packs for?
Machinima, the other thing, their staff is constantly in and out the door. The
Yeah,
people
because
who
they're probably
I met
interns.
at E3 2012, within 3 months, were laid off from Machinima. And
He doesn't know that.
anymore. I'm not exaggerating. That's true. The contacts that I had for that event were gone. Completely
He
gone.
don't know if they was hired there, if
Now,
they was an
incidentally,
intern or
some of
what.
them
He don't know what the
back
fuck those
later
people were.
in other different roles, and I would recognize 2 years later someone's in this other role. Holy shit! I met you at E3 2012.
Probably 'cause
What's
they
going on,
finished
you know?
college.
And we'd have a conversation.
He got a
via
regular
Skype or
job.
email or whatever. But it was so weird that this company literally is a rotating door of staff where people don't stay there long term. It seems like most people who work there end up within if not a few months, 2-3 years, you're out the door. And that was the problem with me with Machinima all
The entire
that I had
time,
this
that was your
relationship with
problem.
them,
Sure it
is
was.
I never had a consistent point of contact to go to for more
By
than
the way,
just a
I
few
love how
months. It was
relevant the
all-
Teespring and the Patreon link is in this video. It's very relevant to the content. I'm watching this right now, and I'm like, man, I really wish I could buy a shirt and a shitty sticker mug, and I really wish I could give somebody money on Patreon. It's extremely relevant.
that person who you used to talk with isn't here anymore. Oh, well, that initiative that we had is completely gone now. You have to go do this way, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But I remember it was late 2012, all right? Now, again, everything's going good, swimmingly, smoothly, nothing going wrong
I need
at all.
some more
Late
popcorn.
2012, it was around, I believe, November, mid-November, late 2012. I got a call, not an email, not a text, a call from Machinima, something very important, we need to talk, okay? Called them up. Sorry, Phil, you know, I know we already canceled that bonus initiative from earlier this year that we mentioned. Now we have to renegotiate your contract for less money. And I was like, well, what the hell? What gives? Why are you got to renegotiate my contract for less money? My views are sky high. I must be bringing you in tons of money, right? They said, no. In fact, we had an audit of everything going on here. And we actually found out that we're paying you more money than your channel makes. And it has nothing to do specifically with my channel. I guess it's all channels on YouTube. The initial contracts that Machinima had given everyone, the money that they had negotiated for everyone ended up being more money than what ad revenue brought in on YouTube. Now, it could have been that YouTube ad revenue plummeted that year, and there's strong rumors that in 2012, that was the first year where kind of the high advertisement revenue bubble burst, and ever since then, it's been a steep decline. I don't know, because I wasn't tracking ad revenue back then. I was only tracking my channel views.
What is he
I didn't give a
complaining
crap
about?
about ad revenue. But that was the first time ever that Machinima, out of the blue, said,
Oh,
you're getting
pay cut again.
cut. And you have a choice. You can stay with us and take this pay cut, or you could seek to go elsewhere. Now, at that point, I liked Machinima. They had sent me to E3. They had done nice things for me. And I said, why wouldn't I stay with you guys? So I took the pay cut. That was actually the time, if you remember, I had 3 channels. I had DSP Gaming, DSP Street Fighter, and I also had a vlogging channel, DSP Vlogging. Well, they told me that DSP Street Fighter was making like...
It was called the King of Hay Vlogs, not DSP Vlogging.
Not bringing in much ad revenue at all, and they were going to have to give me a giant pay cut over there if I were to keep uploading videos to my fighting game channel. And I said, if I'm going to keep DSP Gaming open, and you're offering me a contract on DSP Gaming that's way more money than if this new contract for DSP Street Fighter, what incentive do I have to upload any videos to DSP Street Fighter? You're making no sense. Why would I even keep that channel when I could just upload all my fighting game footage to DSP Gaming and make the increased amount of money? To which they were like, yeah, I guess we see your point.
It's all about money, not about having videos be convenient to your viewers or anything. Just upload 40 Street Fighter videos in one day on your main channel.
You would think that Machinima has accounting, right? They have an accounting or finance department who looks at ad revenue versus what they're paying their partners, and they would be able to have a red flag and come to the management of the company and say, hey, Mr. CEO, hey, Mr. President of Machinima, hey, whoever, we fucked up. Look, we're paying way more money. Can we fix this right away? Why did they wait an entire year of having these sky-high contracts before they realized that this was an issue? Why would they even have made those contracts initially? Didn't they have anyone do some kind of market analysis or anything on YouTube with advertisements to figure out that they were paying way more money than what they were making? It doesn't make any logical sense, all right? And actually, at that time, Machinima apparently was in dire financial straits.
Were they supposed to give you overpaying contracts for a month? And then say, oh, we paid too much, my bad, bruh, and then take it back? They probably realized it way before a year came. But you can't put somebody in some contract like that for a month and then take them out of the contract. People are going to leave Machinima if you do something like that. So, yep.
And that's when they ended up getting extra funding from YouTube. You might hear over the years, Machinima constantly has to get funding from someone else because they bleed money. As a company, they constantly bleed money. They don't make a lot of money. What they do is they just take more investors' money. So at that point, I believe they took investor money from like Microsoft, and that's why they did that big Halo series. And then they took investor money from YouTube, right? So then I remember the years of 2013 and 2014 were interesting because those years I was live streaming now. I was doing direct capture. I was doing a lot more of that stuff. Still, I remember those years, there wasn't too much issue where I had to constantly contact Machinima or anything like that I can remember, okay? Every once in a while, maybe there'd be a false copyright strike or something that I needed to talk to them with, but for the most part, they would take care of stuff. That's why I always said over the years, I always felt that like Machinima had my back. When worse came to worse, if something hit the fan, Machinima would usually talk to YouTube for me on my behalf, get the information, and relay it to me in a very matter-of-fact manner. And I appreciated that because I didn't have a direct line of contact to YouTube. YouTube literally had no way to contact them for issues at all. All they had was a forum and a fucking stupid, frequently asked questions area. They had no way for a content creator to contact them and say, I have an issue, I need help, and get an answer, which is terrible. You have an entire website based off of making money because other people are putting their content on your site, and if there's an issue, they can't get help. What a fucked up system YouTube is, right? But Machinima was always that go-to guys that had my back.
If YouTube let every fucking John Baloney from around the corner actually contact a real person to ask a question, it would be a disaster. They would have to hire hundreds, maybe thousands of people, mad people in fucking India and shit that can't talk. It would be a disaster. It would just not work out. Because Joe fucking Williamson that uploaded an episode of SpongeBob and he want to know why he got copyright flagged, he'll be calling him. Jonathan Johansson that's making $40,000 a month from YouTube, he'll be calling him. And everybody in between. It'll be a joke. I understand not having it at all is kind of ridiculous, but what are you going to do? You're going to hire actual people to answer phones all day and they only limit it to people that make a lot of money or people that have popular channels? It's still a lot of people that have popular channels. Now you got to have some weird ass threshold. It's like, oh, you got to have over 200,000 subs to call a personal YouTube assistant line. What if somebody online share that number? Now Reddit got the YouTube helpline. It's a mess. It just won't work. It just won't work. It's like Twitter. Does Twitter have a phone number you can call? Of course, Twitter isn't a website where people upload stuff to it and make money from like the Twitter partnership program. But do they have a phone number you can call? I don't think so. But whatever.
problem was, again, I didn't always have the same way. Like, sometimes I would have a direct point of contact, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would be emailing or calling them. Other times, I would have to Skype them. Other times, they would have this system. And this is where I really, truly believe this is where Machinima began to fall apart.
Let me know.
I believe it was 2013 when they started full-time implementing this logs system, all right? What it is, it's an automated system. If you want something from Machinima, you have to go to this web page on their website, and you have to fill out a form giving all your information of what you need, and you got to put it into their log system. Most of the time when I had an issue, I wouldn't get a response for 1 to 2 days. Now, that's okay if it's a routine request or an issue, but what if there's a copyright strike against my channel, and I need to get this looked into right away so that everyone can get it cleared up? You know what I mean?
I want to be treated specially because I do YouTube for a job.
This log system, and anyone who's still with Machinima agrees this log system sucks. And it
What's
actually sucks
what's
because
that?
A lot of other partnership networks all also use the same log system. So they went from a personal touch where you had a direct line of contact, you would get responses all the time, to a system where it was very slow to react. There were some people who would blow me off. I'd ask for something, they wouldn't respond, or if they responded, it would be like something completely unrelated or not answering my question. And then they would close the log, to which I would respond, how can you close a log when you didn't actually answer my question? You can't. The way to close a work log is to prove that you've completed the work, and you didn't.
That is a very good point.
Therefore, you can't close this fucking log. And there were a lot of people who I had working at Machinima, and that log system, line level.
If all of this stuff was so annoying, though, why did he stay with him for so long? He said he thinks the downfall started in 2013. So why the fuck did you stay with him until this year, 2017?
People who I had issue with, because apparently they were trained and instructed to just, as soon as you respond to someone, regardless if you give them the answer, close the fucking log. So now I gotta do a whole new log every time I want to ask you about the same issue that you didn't answer yet? Bullshit. Terrible system. Absolutely terrible, and there was no accountability there either. If someone didn't do their work, no one
don't know that.
trouble, or at least from our end,
of course you wouldn't know if they got in trouble.
I really hate it. The next major issue that happened with Machinima,
if I complain to Burger King, will I get a fucking follow-up knowing if they got fired or not? No.
Partnership networks didn't see this coming. In late 2013, YouTube decided to flip a switch
I might get
on
some
a change
Taco Bell tomorrow.
that screwed over everyone on YouTube who made gameplay videos. What this change did is it made it so that even if you were with a partnership network, their content ID match system now affected you. So overnight, I was fine. I never had a content ID match, never had major issues with copyright, nothing. Overnight, one night in December 2013, I'm not even kidding you, hundreds if not thousands of my videos on DSP Gaming got
thousands of videos?
Music, visual content, whatever. Some of them were blocked, some of them were muted, some of them were removed, some of them just had ad revenue stolen. And it's ridiculous because I was always protected from that being with
Do you know what stealing, okay? The term stealing would be used if you have a possession and someone takes the thing. Stealing isn't I might get that, and now instead of me maybe getting it, you getting it. That's not stealing. You could say, you could even be like, oh, they intercepted it if you want to be specific. But I don't consider that stealing. So for instance, I got an exercise ball weird thing right here. If somebody was to come in the room right now and take it out of my hand, that's stealing. If I plan on buying this from Walmart and I go to Walmart and it's not there, can I say that a customer stole it? No. Someone else got it before I could get it. They didn't steal it. That's not how stealing works.
How the fuck did Machinima not know that YouTube was making this change? How did they not relay this to their partners? And how did they have no protection in place to stop this problem? At the time, it wasn't just me. It was every big partner on YouTube, including Maximilian. I actually talked to Maximilian about it. I talked to, oh God, what the hell's his name? The Rad Brad. We were all kind of communicating via Twitter, trying to figure out ways to solve this issue until Machinima figured out a bigger fix. They literally said, "We got a bigger fix in the works, guys."
They didn't have a bigger fix. That was bullshit.
So I actually figured out a way to remove.
Yeah, he fucked the videos up. The videos where he removed the music are broken. They're terrible.
With Machinima, and it was this big rigmarole for like 2 weeks. Then finally, after this 2-week rigmarole, Machinima says, well, for certain partners who are big enough, we're going to give you the managed partnership. All right? And I remember I was one of the people chosen. Rad Brad was. At that time, I don't think Maximilian was. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive he said he wasn't selected for the managed partnership. And he was worried because all his videos were getting claimed. And he's like, how the fuck does this work? This is bullshit.
Take a sip.
But At that point, Machinima, again, it took 2 weeks. They dragged their feet. They somehow didn't foresee this problem coming.
No
When
one
it happened,
foresaw it,
Machinima
dude.
Came to the rescue again and put me in a managed partnership. And from then on, the late 2013, all the way until I severed my partnership with Machinima just recently, I was under a managed partnership.
It's also
where I was
a lie.
protected from content ID and all that shit. I never had that issue.
Wait,
I was
is it?
considered under a managed
No, it's not.
partnership.
He always was
So
under a
again,
managed
Machinima did me a
partnership.
solid and
They
kinda
just gave
helped
him
me
a
out,
bunch of
even
pay
though-
cuts.
and yeah, there were negatives. I hated the log system. I hated that I didn't have a direct point of contact all the time. But the fact that they would come to my rescue on issues like that was much appreciated. All right. Now, in 2015, so this was
He
2
legit.
years ago.
Not that you know what?
I've
He
been out
legit.
here
This whole
living-
video is him going down the entire timeline of his existence on YouTube. And I understand the video is titled 6 Years with Machinima, Ups, Downs, and the Bizarre End. But really? It's obtuse. It's too much.
For about a year, I started having tons of issues. I started getting DDoS attacks. I got swatted that year. I had the false copyright strikes against my account and all that shit. All this nasty shit happening to me, okay? Machinima, in a huge way, helped me that year, all right? They actually got in contact with me in regards to all the shit that was going on. And they said, we're going to personally help you. I got in contact with the head of the partnership program, which, guess what? He was the same guy who I had met in person at E3 2012 3 years earlier. He had left the company for a long time, 3 years, came back, and he was hired as the head of the partnership company, our partnership program. So obviously it was a huge coincidence, but it was also great because I knew the guy, and we had a great rapport. I could explain to him the problems that were going on with false copyright.
He knew him because he met him 3 years ago and never talked to him again.
Go to YouTube and talk to them on a conference call, immediately call me right back and say, here's what we learned. There was another girl who was working for the company who was actually in contact with me in regards to, like I said, attending PAX. She also was the person who was getting me in contact with game publishers to get me free copies of games. If you actually remember, in 2015, I got free copies of a ton of games, including games like Rainbow Six
You know
Siege.
what? I want to know, as my frame rate dies, because I got Inkbot open on my computer. I want to know. Still waiting for the frame rate to fix itself. Jesus Christ. Shitty computer. It's not even a computer, it's the laptop. Is it fixed now? Is it almost fixed? It's almost fixed. It's still not fixed. Give us some time. There, I think. Wait, no. I think it might almost be fixed. It's not fixed. Technology is annoying. Could just edit this out. But I don't have Premiere installed, so you have to deal with it. But whatever, you can hear me. It don't matter if you can see me that good. It might be fixed now. It's not fixed. But anyway. Alright. I want to know. Man, I'm fucking hot. I want to know if he realized that Machinima gave him a bunch of free games and shit before they lowered his contract amount again. Because that's what they did. They gave him mad free games. The dude got Fallout 4 early for free and everything. And the next year, oh, we gotta drop how much you're getting paid, Phil. He had to notice that. He had to. And I want to see if he noticed it. Because I think everybody else noticed.
I got a copy of the Uncharted
He never played the
collection.
Uncharted collection, by the way.
I'm trying to remember. There was like maybe
Wait,
10
what?
games over the course of 2015.
He got the
that
Uncharted
was
collection for free to this day. Never played it.
Machinima
amazing.
actually hooked me up and put me in contact with those game companies and got me free copies of those games. And that was the first time Machinima had ever done anything like that for me. So from my perspective, even though 2015 was a shitty year in regards to false copyright strikes and getting swatted and all that shit, I thought it was a good year because I now had a new rapport with Machinima, right? I was basically not really friends, but I was in good rapport with the head of the partnership division. I had another contact who was getting me games and stuff and get me in cahoots with events and stuff, and things were looking up and up. Well, it was busy late 2015, and then 2016 came around and I was busy with my work or whatever. And about, I'd say probably the first quarter to maybe a little bit earlier into mid 2016, I was like, man, I haven't heard from Machinima in a long time. I wonder what's going on. Actually, I take this back because I screwed up. Let me backtrack a bit because I'll talk about this in a moment. In late 2015, Machinima contacted me and said, Phil, the party's over. And I said, what now? Now, here's the thing. Unlike 3 years prior, remember in late 2012, I told you they'd renegotiated my contract once for way less money, okay? And I accepted it at that time because that contract was great, and I liked being with Machinima. They'd sent me to E3 and all of that. Well, in late 2015, I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get any kind of Skype call, nothing. I got a generic email from someone in the finance department of Machinima stating, Phil, we are canceling your current contract as of this date. Here's the new contract. You're no longer going to be in a contract that's based off of views. You're now going to be on the contract that almost everyone on YouTube is based off of, ad revenue, okay? So what I earned was based off the ad revenue that my DSP Gaming and other channels were earning on YouTube. They were kicking me out of the old programs and putting me into this ad revenue-based one. And I said, well, this sucks because, number one, it's completely impersonal. No one called me. No one explained the situation. They sent me this generic form letter, actually with a new contract in it, all right, stating that they were forcing me into this new contract or they were going to cancel my contract at the end of the year. And I said, this is ridiculous. This isn't how you treat someone who's been a partner and a top partner of yours for years. I should have gotten a call, at least explain the situation. And by the way, they were rushing me into it. They were only giving me like 30 days to sign this new, way less lucrative contract, or else they were going to give me the boot, okay? So immediately I contacted the head of the partnership program.
I was muted. I'm stupid. He uses the term "give me the boot" in the same video where he said he couldn't get fired because he was never hired by them, but he had a contract by them, which is all kind of the same thing. He also talks about how they was forcing him to come up with a decision because they should give you a year fucking fake contract to let them know if you want to be in a real one. 30 days I feel like is a pretty reasonable time. As a matter of fact, when this happened, he even was like, oh, I got 30 days. I got 30 days to see if I want to stay with him or go to a new partnership company. He didn't complain about the 30-day thing at all. But now in retrospect, he complains about it and say that they forced him to make a decision. They give you 30 days. That's not forcing. What the hell are you talking about?
Program who I was friendly with, and I said, listen, I need more time than just this. I need to go out and see what else is out there, what other companies are offering, and see if you're offering or what you're giving me now is better.
He had 30 days to do that.
You can't just force me to sign this within a couple of weeks. I'm going to need some time. So the good thing is, again, because I had good rapport with the head of the partnership program, he said, we are going to give you an exception. We're going to give you like two months to figure out what you want to do. And you can sign with us or not. It's up to you. But this is the best offer, the absolute best offer we can offer. And we apologize. We know it's a pay cut, but it is.
I don't remember it being 2 months. But I do remember him re-signing with Machinima definitely before 2 months was up. He signed back with Machinima pretty early. I don't even think he waited a whole month before he signed back with him, to be honest. And when he did, he was like, oh, Machinima's still offering me more money than the other companies are offering, so I'm going to stay with them. It's a very lucrative contract. So he stayed with Machinima. Look how that trade worked out.
What it is, we can't keep paying you a flat rate because, again, apparently Machinima had found out they were paying me more money than what the channel was making ad revenue wise. So why on earth, again, their finance department didn't figure this out and stop it to begin with? I have no idea. It makes no logical sense that there's this major partnership company who apparently has terrible finance people who never alert anyone in the company of what's going on, and therefore they always pay people more than what they make. It makes no fucking logical sense. How could you stay in operation? You couldn't. You'd be bleeding money constantly. It makes no sense. So I went out there in late 2015 and I looked at other partnership companies and what they were offering, and it turns out they were offering slightly less what Machinima wanted to offer me to stay with them. So I said, okay, I'm going to stay with Machinima. Now, I remember at that time I talked about this publicly. A lot of people gave me shit. They said, Phil, didn't you hear the negative press that Machinima did this thing and Machinima did that thing? Why would you stay with Machinima in late 2015 when they have this negative stigma associated with them and a lot of big YouTubers have left them because of this? Why would you stay with them? And I simply put said, because they're offering me more money than everyone else. That's the bottom line. That's why I'm staying with them. It's not because I don't like, it's not, I mean, yeah, another reason I would say probably was because I was friendly with the head of the partnership program and I had that rapport with him and I knew if I needed help with something that I could contact him and I could get help with it. But outside of that, yeah, it wasn't, they weren't flying me to E3 anymore.
He says he was friendly with the head of the partnership program, but when he had all of these problems with Machinima, and even recently before Machinima got rid of him, when he was making way less money, like a drastic amount of money, well, a drastically a lower amount of money. I can't talk. When he was making way less money, he was complaining about YouTube every day, complaining about ad revenue every day. If you had some kind of rapport and you was friendly with the head of partnership, you couldn't talk to him. He said he was friendly with him, like he was able to text him every day and tell him good night. But if he was going through these problems with YouTube in general, and it was like, oh, no one can help me out, and he was emailing people to try to get help. You couldn't talk to the head of the partnerships to get help? I thought you was friendly with him, though. It's bullshit. Friendly with him. I don't know what that means in DSP's world. Who knows?
And at least at that point in late 2015, they were giving me free copies of games, so that was a nice thing, okay? So anyway, I ended up accepting all the renegotiated contracts, and as of late 2015, I ended up making way less money than originally I was with Machinima, because I had gone into this ad revenue-based contract, performance ads versus views, which is bullshit, because as a content creator on YouTube, I shouldn't have to worry about, oh, YouTube did good this month and signed up all those good advertisers, so I should try to pump out more video views this month to get more ad revenue in this month, but this month I know traditionally they don't get a lot of ads, so I should just not do as much this month. I should be focusing on giving you quality
I
stuff
desperately
you want
need
to
to
see all
get
the
some
time,
water.
and not have to worry
So
about
hopefully I
that
don't miss
shit.
out on anything,
Look,
but I'm letting
YouTube
this
does
shit
a
run.
horrible job with advertising.
Letting that run, buddy.
And acquiring advertisers and keeping them, as we've seen in the news recently. They lost 250 top advertisers because they fucking suck and they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they're inept at their jobs. Now the content creators get screwed, right? The bottom line is, if YouTube had done their job all these years and kept the advertisers on YouTube, that initial contract I had with Machinima back in 2011 would still be in effect today. And everyone would be hunky-dory happy. Machinima wouldn't have had to seek multiple different people to fund them or whatever, and we'd all be fine. But because YouTube can't do their fucking jobs, we're all in this position right now where a lot of YouTubers are now coming out and saying they can't even do YouTube for a living anymore. Okay? So anyway, late 2015, I decided to stay with Machinima at that point. About, like I said, early to mid 2016, I realized it's like that girl who was contacting me all the time about free games and stuff. I haven't heard from her in a long time. I wonder what happened to her. Is she even okay? So I ended up writing an email one night. I was like, hi, I know I haven't heard from you in like 4 or 5 months, but you were doing, we had a good relationship. You were helping me out with games and getting stuff for my business. I just want to see how you're doing and what's going on. Within 2 days, I got a response back, not from her, from the automated log system that I hate, saying, she's no longer with the company. Please don't send her emails anymore. Okay, that's interesting. So then I said, gee, I wonder. And there were 2 other people I knew who were with the company at that point. I sent them emails. Guess what I got? Auto responses back. Don't send them emails. They're not with the company anymore. And at this point, I'm like, obviously, it's another issue where, again, the employees came in. For whatever reason, they were doing a good job. Everyone was happy, and they all got laid off. And it was probably an initiative in 2015. We got to do good work with our partners, and we got to help our partners out with copyright strikes and get them free games. And then all of a sudden, some manager,
I come back and I see him split on his arms. What the hell is he talking about?
Fuck that. I'm going to just completely destroy that program again and lay all the people off again. Fuck them. And that's what happened. So all my contacts at Machinima in 2016 were gone from the company, okay? Now, in particular, I hadn't had any issues with copyright or anything major at all during 2016.
Sorry about randomly getting water in the middle of a fucking video, but man, doing green screen green screen shit,
contact the head of the partnership company or the head
it's
of the
fucking rough.
About anything for most
Believe
of
it or not.
2016, it was pretty smooth sailing, no issues.
First world
so in that
problems,
regard,
obviously.
I really didn't do anything there. I do remember
because I gotta run the lights so it
in the
works.
summer.
And then behind me, I got a bearded dragon
Of
with heat lamps over them 24 hours a day.
I had to because again, my point
So
of
I'm
contact
really
was
fucking hot in this
laid
room.
off. So I had to write them a log in their automated system about why
But
my views drop off.
I should be getting
Everyone
a
noticed
fan,
this in the summer
like
of
a
2016,
fan to
everyone
put
views
in the room.
plummeted. And it
And I
stayed
might be
that way. It
alright
wasn't like they
after
went
that.
down and went back up. No, they went down and just stayed down. And obviously YouTube changed something, some
Hopefully.
algorithm or something. Never disclosed that information, never shared it with anyone.
I mean, I got air
and
conditioner, but
Machinima,
I'm not
Machinima
about to
asked,
run
and they
air
got
conditioner
no
all
response
day.
from YouTube. So I stopped pinging. Because at one point, how many times
Fucking
are you going
run
to
my
ask,
bills up
and you're
to
not
do
going to get a
YouTube
response from
videos.
YouTube because they feel like they're so high and mighty
That'll
and
be
better
stupid.
than everyone that they can just change their whole fucking website and business without having any kind of disclosure.
He complaining
People
so
who
much,
make them
dude.
fucking money by giving them their own content. It's so insane that this company operates the way that they do. They're such a company with
Listen to
their heads
this.
of their own asses. They're so elitist. because they're all fucking.
If you hate
IQ-educated
YouTube
morons
this
who have
much, then why do you still do anything for it?
no street smarts. I've said this a million times before. They think that they're so smart and better than everyone that their changes will always benefit everyone, when in reality they always fuck everyone over. But I digress. So all 2016.
Yeah, you better
went-
digress.
Right. Now let's talk about the current issue. What literally just happened. Why I'm not with Machinima.
It took 43 minutes of his video and an hour and 5 minutes of my video, and I really struggled to not pause as much. 43 minutes of his video to get to the point. That is amazing. Oh. Wow! I'm hitting the wrong thing to unpause the video.
Machinima anymore, because you will not believe this story either. All right, so here's what happened. All of a sudden, in February 2017, 2 months ago, I looked at my channel performance and it made no sense. It told me that there was a spike in advertisement from October, November, December, that it went down slightly in January, which you always expect. And then in February, when typically ad revenue goes back up, it plummeted. It went half. So it was already down in January. Then it went down by 50% more in February, which meant with that amount of money being made, I couldn't pay my bills. All right. I mean, at that point, I hadn't instituted any backup plans or anything yet, or any kind of, things to fix anything. And I literally didn't know if I was going to be able to pay my bills, my mortgages, anything come this month. In fact, this month of April, because I was apparently going to make half as much money on YouTube than I had ever made before. I wrote a log. Had to write a log because there's no point of contact anymore with Machinima. They all got laid off, right? I wrote a log to their system. How can this be? Why does it say I'm making half as much revenue or whatever? Per the first response I got, okay, from their customer service department, the guy completely blew off my question.
I love the term customer service being used, by the way, when DSP is not a customer. It's like, he worked for them, basically. You make money for them and they give you some of the money that you made for them. Customer service. What customer? Customers are people that buy products. I don't know.
In the answer, he basically said, oh, well, February is a shorter month. And based off of these ad revenue percentages and CPMs and all of this stuff, it looks like if it had been a month as long as a normal month, you would have made as much as you did in January, but it was a shorter month. I was like, are you an idiot? I made half as much as I did in January, you dunce. He
didn't tell him that.
Factually incorrect. You completely dodged the question. I went
he
back
didn't
to him,
tell him
I said,
that, obviously.
Not a satisfactory answer. I want a better answer.
He didn't call a dude an idiot.
Doesn't actually make any sense. I can't pay my bills unless you contact
I highly
me to
doubt he
find out
told the
what's
dude he
going
couldn't
on. At
pay
this
his
point, I
bills,
thought
too.
maybe it was an error, like a glitch. There was actually a couple times with Machinima where this happened, where they either underpaid me or overpaid me. There was one time Machinima, I'm not even kidding you, this is a funny one. They paid me 3 times more than what they were supposed to pay me 1 month. Then they realized their error, and for 3 months they didn't pay me at all. They fucked up.
If that's true,
internally.
that's
They calculated
insane.
way too much, and then they decided not to pay me at all. So thank God when I got that giant sum of money out of nowhere, I questioned them rather than saying, "Oh, it must have been a good month this month." And when I spent it, and the next thing I know, I have no way.
I would have spent all that shit.
Right? But they periodically have these issues. There was one time, many years ago, this was like 3-4 years ago, where all of a sudden they just sent me a lump sum of money. I said, "What is this?" And they said, "Oh, well, apparently there was a miscalculation on YouTube of your views. We actually owe you thousands of dollars." I was like, "Sounds good to me." So in this case, I thought maybe this was another situation where not the views.
This all sounds very suspicious.
Maybe it was an error internal. Maybe they could fix it right on their end, and my ad revenue would go back to what it was, normal. So that's what I asked. That's what I was hoping for. And it took about another day to get an answer. And now it was supposedly this guy who I guess is one of the more senior members
He's
of the
old.
customer service department at Machinima. And he came back to me saying, "Phil, we're going to ping YouTube on this and give you an answer. It does look like, according to what you're saying, your ad revenue is way down. Like, everyone else has higher ad revenue than you. We can't figure out why your particular YouTube channel may be down and why you may be targeted."
Oh, I killed my bit rate just now.
It doesn't look like you've been flagged as
Not my bit rate.
advertiser unfriendly.
You know what? I know why it's chopping up so much. It's because of my bit rate.
Eyeballed by YouTube by saying that
I got a suspiciously low bit rate right now because I want to upload this fast.
Advertisers will want to advertise on. I mean,
So it can't handle that much images and videos being on the screen.
Religious channels, those kind
My
of
bad.
channels.
Didn't
just
think
doing
about
video
that.
gameplay, you know what I mean? So that's not super controversial. You wouldn't think that my channel would be flagged. And from what they saw, they said, "No, you're not. So let's get answered." I waited 3 days.
Wow, 3 days.
Got no response. No,
Oh my
I'm
God.
making no money. I'm making like next to no
Also,
money at all during February. And I'm like, where's my answer?
I'm making no money. Then immediately it's like in the back of his brain, like against the wall or so far in the back of his brain. He's like, wait, oh no, I'm making next to no money. He has to quickly change the stuff he says.
Nothing. So I finally pinged them again. Nothing. I pinged
He's
them again.
spamming
They finally
Machinima.
respond. Okay, but we talked to YouTube, and YouTube says that
That's some pretty good water.
no, you're not flagged for being advertiser unfriendly. They didn't give us any more answers. We'll continue.
I would
to
normally
ask,
be in bed by
whatever.
now, but
I'm like,
I'm staying up for you
dude,
fucking
this is
assholes.
not a valid response.
So you can complain
I
about me
need
eating
an
popcorn in the
answer from
comment
YouTube.
section.
And I know what's going on is they're bringing it up quickly in like a meeting or a conference call as an aside issue rather than driving it as a priority. Okay. So they get a
You're a nobody,
little
DSP. You're not going to be their
answer,
priority.
and that's it. Oh, we got it. Let's send that back to Phil, and hopefully that'll appease him. No, if I can't pay my bills, you telling me you don't know what the issue is isn't going to fucking appease me. Okay? So I went back to them again, and I said, well, this is not acceptable.
personal
This
problem
is
that you can't pay your bills.
unsatisfactory. I need
Like-
you to escalate
like-
this issue to management.
Think about this. Think about if you, now of course you can't really compare, you can't logically compare this to a real job, but you can kind of make the comparison in a tiny little way, like really fucking small. But imagine going to your job, going to your 9 to 5, I don't care what the fuck you do, and you tell your manager, your supervisor, whatever, or even somebody that's above them, and you tell them, I can't pay my bills this month. I need some fucking answers. I've been working here for years. I've been doing this for fucking 6+ years. I can't pay my fucking bills this month. I need you guys to help me out. What the hell would they tell you? I want to honestly know what would they tell you in that situation? What would a superior at your job tell you if you go to them and tell them that you can't pay your bills? That's hilarious. And it's pitiful. If he actually told anybody at Machinima, I don't know if I could pay my bills this month, what the fuck are they gonna do about that? Are they obligated to always give you a certain amount of money and allow you to pay your bills? Should Machinima have emailed them at the end of every month and say, hey Phil, you gonna be able to pay your bills this month? Okay, cool. We were just trying to figure out. We needed to know if we needed to send you more money or not. Like what? This is how entitled this dude is. This is a really bad pause, by the way. Look how blurry he is. This is how fucking entitled he is. Just because he was able to pay his bills at one point with this job, he should always, well, with this thing, he should always be able to pay his bills with it forever. That's his logic. Unreal.
That was the first time. So this has been a week now. And I've been talking through this log system with Machinima about making half as much money as usual, and I didn't get a satisfactory answer. I asked for them to escalate it to management. I waited another day, no response. I waited another day, and I wrote them another log, and I said, you now have me waiting 2 more days. You still haven't given me an update. I need an answer. They came back
11,
and again,
12,
smoke up my
1,
ass.
2.
No concrete information whatsoever. And
I'm
I said, I
calculating
went back
right
to
now.
them
I'm
again, and I
plotting
said,
in my
this
mind.
is it. I said, I asked you now twice to escalate this issue to management. Okay.
It's 11 o'clock
So now I
now.
knew basically they weren't going to do it. So I said, well, I know what I can do. I can contact the head of the partnership program. Now, it had been a while since I talked to him, about a year. So I knew, who knows what has happened within that year. So I write this guy an email because I have his direct, in my contacts and everything in my phone, I have all his direct information.
All this direct information, you send an email?
I get an automated message back. It says, that person is no longer with the company.
Oh,
I'm like,
no!
You gotta be fucking kidding me. The guy who was the head of the partnership program, who helped me out tremendously all through 2015.
Wow.
Late 2015 with the contract renegotiation and everything.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's gone too, so they got rid of him too.
Body.
If you have any issues that you would have contacted him for, contact this guy. So I wrote.
The other dude was like, who the fuck is this asshole? Oh, DSP, this guy sucks.
Partnership program explaining the whole situation. I sent it to this other guy, whatever. And that was all I could do, right? The next day, of course, keep in mind, I hadn't been getting any regular responses.
The new dude was probably like, oh, this guy sucks. I watched this like play MGS2.
Again, from the automated log system, the same guy who's apparently an up-and-up guy at the customer support of Machinima. And he says, we've contacted YouTube. They still are looking into it. They still have no definitive answer on what's going on. We've determined
I'm being
we're
really
not
obnoxious in this video with this
flagged as
popcorn.
advertiser and friendly, so that's not it. But we're not, we don't have any answers yet. But then they said something that when they said this, that was pretty much
Really? What did they say?
Here's
Did they
what
cheat?
said.
Did they cheat on you?
We would appreciate it if you don't go out of your way to write and contact other departments here within Machinima. To basically stay within you're supposed to be talking to us for help on customer support in this log system, and don't you dare go outside and try to contact someone else for help.
Because what he did, I can't come up with the correct term, but what he did, he tried to go above who he was talking to. Like, okay, I'm supposed to talk to these fucking minions about it. So I'm going to go for the dude that's above the dude, that's above the dude, that's above the dude, that's above the minions. It's like if I was to have, what could I explain it? What could I compare it to? We can go back to the 9-to-5 thing again. It's like if you was to have if you was to have a problem with your manager, and instead of complaining to the supervisor, which is what you're supposed to do, you know, that's one step up, you go to like the fucking owner of the company, and you're like, yo, I know we cool, owner of the company, I got your phone number, but this bitch pisses me off every day. Could you do something about her? What he did was kind of along that, because, okay, he's supposed to talk to the Machinima minions. That's what we're going to call them. Hashtag Machinima minions. That's the hashtag for this video. If you watch the video an hour and 15 minutes in, make sure to put a comment and use the hashtag Machinima minions. But he was supposed to talk to the Machinima minions. And instead of talking to them and dealing with their responses, he went all the way to the dude that's above partnership. And if that dude probably could get the Machinima minions fired, or he could at least get them in some trouble. And don't nobody want that. Even the head of the partnerships don't want that. Because he feel like the minions should do their job, and the minions pissed off because you just shat on them and went ahead of them and talked to somebody else. So you really fucking everything up.
That was it. Because literally what that is, that's passive aggressive. That's talking.
He should have known better.
That's telling me, treating me like a child. Like, how dare you try to,
He read this the wrong way, obviously. He should have known better to not do something like that. You don't do stuff like that. That's going out of your way, and like, I don't know. Like, obviously I wasn't in his shoes and that, I don't know if I can pay my bills situation. But he really handled that the wrong way. To talk to those people, those upper people a couple of times, maybe. But to send people emails over and over and, oh, we can't give you an answer right now. And then you just email a person that's above them, expecting the person that's above them to have an answer, which they won't. I don't understand how we thought this would turn out good. And obviously it didn't.
Not within these little guidelines and rules, and you went outside of the dotted lines, right, to try to get help. Let me tell you something, folks. In my lifetime, if I never sought help outside of that one directive road that everyone tells you to go, I never would have got help for anything. And this goes for any kind of
SOK
job or
did a
whatever.
live and do this.
That if you're in an established corporate line where
like they did one, it seemed like they did one soon as the fucking video happened.
Anything like that. But the bottom line is,
I guess I'll listen to that tomorrow.
Respect. And if you're not getting answers and you're not getting respect and you're not being treated fairly by someone, you have the right to stick up for yourself and seek out help from someone else.
Yeah, you guys out there working normal jobs in real life, where if you go a little tiny bit out of line, they can say, fuck you, hit the door, we never want to see you again, you won't get unemployment. You guys that have jobs like that in real life, if you annoyed about something, you complain to everybody. And if the person you complaining to don't listen or they can't help, you complain to the person that's above them. And you complain to everybody until you're talking to the owner of McDonald's or the owner of Burger King or the owner of Jack in the Box. And you just throw as much shit as you can throw until everything goes in your way. And if it doesn't go your way, make a video on YouTube and shit on them 2 months later. This dude is 35 years old. 35 years old. And he's this unrealistic. He has these unrealistic expectations in life. He expects, I don't even know what I can call it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You would think real life by now would have hit him and he would be like, okay, you know, I can't expect everybody to cater to me. I can't expect stuff to always go my way. But he still do. He still do.
Somewhere. Never ever let someone tell you to basically sit there and be
They
happy
didn't do
and
that.
shut up like a little kid and sit in the corner, and we'll give you information when we get it. You know, because that's literally
Were they
what
supposed
this
to
message
generate
said.
information? They didn't know. They told them they didn't know. when somebody doesn't know something, you don't complain to the person above them, because the person above them probably won't even know that the issue exists, because the problem not big enough yet. Okay, I got a really good example. It's like if you was to spill a glass of water on the floor, right? Now, of course, a situation like this, the way it will work, somebody might see it. Maybe the person that could even fucking clean it up might see it first. But if not, somebody that's over them may see it, or somebody may see it and then complain to the person that's over the person that's supposed to clean it. You don't see the puddle of water on the floor and say, oh man, look at this fucking puddle of water on the floor. I'm going to call the owner of this fucking company. He pretty much was calling the owner, like he was emailing the head of fucking partnerships and emailing these people, spamming them every day for a puddle of water on the floor. It was a couple days, not weeks, not months. Some people went months without making money on YouTube through, from all kind of different types of situations. He go a couple of days with making less money. And he emailing the head of fucking partnership? Like, he didn't even get him the chance to figure out what the deal was. Of course they got annoyed at him about that.
Saying, don't you go and talk to anyone else within the company but this customer service line
ever.
Mm-hmm. That was it. I wrote them back, and here's what I said in my
What
message.
did he say?
Oh, by the way, they did give me a suggestion as well in this message. With that passive-aggressive message, they said, we recommend you shorten your video length, because right now we're seeing your videos on average are 20 to 30 minutes long, but your average watch engagement is much less than that. When he
told us about the video length thing, he made it seem like he had a whole conversation with somebody. Apparently this was just some random email and it just got sent to him. Okay.
What we need you to do is shorten your videos so that your watch engagement percentage will go up, and hopefully you'll get better ads on your videos. All right. So they did actually give me a good piece of advice. Not to say that it was an amazing piece of advice. It was kind of like a quick fix rather than
it wasn't an amazing piece of advice, but he did it.
Answer. But they gave me that piece of advice, and
he did it.
The first thing I said
he acted like he didn't do it.
I want you to understand something. This literally is a situation where I'm in dire financial straits, and if this stands where I'm going to be making half as less money on YouTube as I ever did before, starting now, I'm going to lose my house.
He told him he's going to lose his house.
All my shit reclaimed. Credit card bills are going to go default. I'm probably going to have to declare bankruptcy.
He told him
everything. That? And the fact that I've now been talking
I hope
to
he
you
didn't actually tell him that, because that's kind of sad.
And any kind of answer, I have every right as a fucking respectable human adult to go seek help elsewhere. It's your ineptitude.
I don't think he said all of that.
Is the reason why I have to go seek help elsewhere. And I even said, I wasn't going and seeking some department outside of the scope of where I would look for help at Machinima for help. I was going to the head of the partner program, who throughout 2015 and 2016 helped me repeatedly with false copyright strikes, with issues against my channel, with contract negotiations. That would be the natural person one would logically reach out to. I wasn't going outside the scope of what I was supposed to be doing. That's exactly what I was told to do 2 years ago for issues. Now all of a sudden in 2017 you changed your whole structure again, and now it's the wrong thing to do, and you talk down to me.
He said all of that.
I said, I feel like you've insulted me, and therefore I'm going to be honest with you. I want you to escalate this issue to management. I don't care if it's your manager, if it's the CEO of the company, whoever it is. They need to be aware that this is an issue going on with YouTubers and people under your partnership program. And I want you to know that if you feel that this is how you're going to treat me as a partner, I don't want to be with you anymore. And I said that in black and white writing in this message to them. I don't want to be with you anymore. He said right there,
if you're going to treat me like this, I don't want to be here anymore. But they got rid of him out of the blue.
If you're going to mistreat me and talk down to me and not get me help and basically talk to me like a kid. Because this is my livelihood here. Understand, this is my livelihood. And I ended the message in this manner. I said, I do not want...
They decided to end it with him seemingly out of the blue. In the description, he said it's out of the blue. But in this video, he telling us that he said that he told him that he didn't want to be with them anymore if it would be that way, if it would keep working out that way. But they ended the partnership with him out of the blue. But also when he first left Machinima, he said he got fired. Well, it felt like he got fired, but then he said it was mutual. But if he actually said this and then they said, okay, well, bye, I guess that's kind of mutual.
I want to hear from you again. I want to.
I don't want to hear from you
management
again.
who
I
are
want to
gonna
hear from
explain to me the
management.
situation of what is going
Wow.
on, all
The
right?
management don't
And
know.
that's that. Okay. The next day, I got a message from Machinima saying, and it was from the same guy. So again, it went against my wishes. We have decided to execute our right to end a partnership with you on all of your channels. Therefore, here's the legal agreements that we had with you. With DSP Gaming, this channel can only be, you know, for a certain amount of days.
Unbelievable.
For King of Hate Vlog, a certain amount of days. And for KO Gaming, a certain amount of days. So basically what they were saying is they didn't want to be in an agreement with me anymore with the partnership. All right. So let's recap this situation. I did nothing wrong. Okay, I wasn't in violation of YouTube rules. I wasn't flagged for being advertiser unfriendly. All of a sudden, I literally started making half as much money as I usually did. It was to the point where I was afraid I was going to lose my house, my job, my livelihood. Everything was going to be repossessed.
His
my life was
job?
gonna be fucking ruined. I didn't have a backup plan.
But I thought you wasn't hired by Machinima. So what is your
I
job?
contact Machinima for help for a week and a half. They give me the runaround and don't give me any answers whatsoever on what's going on, and they refuse to hold YouTube accountable and get answers from YouTube. Then I go to a contact who I'd already had from 2 years running as a contact of someone who's helped me and told me to go to him on these issues. I went to him, was told he wasn't with the company anymore, and then I was scolded by Machinima for talking to the guy that I was told previously should be my point of contact for issues like this. Talked down to like a fucking child. So I laid down the line with Machinima and said, if that's how you're going to treat me, I don't want to be with you anymore. And they released me from
But I thought I was out of the blue.
So that's really what happened. I asked basically to be released if they were going to.
Also, how is this a bizarre end?
And then they
This is not bizarre.
That's what happened.
You caused problems. They got rid of the problem.
What kind of a fucking company would anyone want to be? Who would want to be with a company who talks down to you? And when you tell them that you've been insulted, they just say, well, fuck you, and they throw you away like that, right?
He would do that to his mods.
That's ridiculous. That's one of the worst things you could possibly do. When you have someone who's been,
especially me, I'm special. Look how I'm special. I've been around a long time.
Newcomer, and I was being a dick, and I was being demanding. I was the opposite.
He'd been around a long time and was being demanding, so it's okay.
I never asked them for free games. I never asked them for free stuff to go to trips or anything. I never asked them for advertisement promotions. I never participated in any of the crazy programs that got them into trouble. I was like the poster boy of success for Machinima, right? I always kept my nose clean. You
kept your nose clean by jacking off on a pre-stream?
For them, after 6 years, to basically say he's just a nobody and blow me off and then insult me for talking to someone who was a previous contact of mine, fuck that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Now, of course, I did some research. After all this happened, I said, I've got to do some research. I got to figure out what really happened here. I found out, ladies and gentlemen, that in 2013, Machinima's management got shaken up, and basically they got taken over by the CEO. All right, I'm not going to use his name or nothing. But I did some research on this guy. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, went to Ivy League schools his whole life. Parents paid his way, by the way.
Well, who paid for you to go to college, DSP?
He's on the board of directors of a million different companies, which means there's no way that his actual.
He says his parents paid his way, like it's a terrible thing. What's better, to get a fucking loan and pay bills on going to school for the rest of your life? What's the prestigious way to go to school, DSP? The way you went? His parents paid his way, by the way, because it's such a horrible thing. You want to have to pay college bills all for the rest of your life, like all other fucking schmucks, don't you, DSP? That's the prestigious way to go to school. What's wrong with this dude?
Given to Machinima at any one time whatsoever. All right.
Like, what's the point of shitting on that?
You're on the board of directors of a bunch of companies. You're constantly involved and intertwined with their issues and things. There's no way that you could possibly be involved full force in the company that you're supposed to be the CEO of. This guy is basically the antithesis of everything that I stand for. I'm a believer in hard work. I'm a believer in earning everything, earning your way. I was a person who was incredibly intelligent and was in line to possibly go to Ivy League schools, and I was told
he just told us that he's intelligent. Like, he just flat out said it. I was a person that was intelligent.
I needed financial aid, and they didn't want me because they didn't want to give me the financial aid. If I'm white and smart, I can't go to Ivy League school unless I'm rich. If I'm a legacy or I'm rich, I can go to Ivy League. But since I wasn't rich, I was denied.
If I'm white and smart, I can't go to an Ivy League school. But if I'm rich or if I'm a part of a legacy, I can go. I'm not even going to touch that.
2 Ivy League schools, and both of them
Not even gonna touch it.
You're declined because, you know, financial aid issues.
Not even gonna touch it.
Isn't that nice to know that in America, if you're rich, you can stay rich and go to Ivy League schools and be on the board of directors of a million fucking companies and make horrible decisions? I mean, let's face it. Let's look at Machinima since 2013, all right? All these, you know, the advertisement promotion with Xbox One where they didn't properly disclose anything, they got into legal trouble, right? Ran out of money, therefore had to seek more funding from other companies and have these influxes in.
He ran out of money too, and he had to seek business loans for a YouTube channel, and then that didn't work. And now he has a Patreon that you can see on the screen, and he has a Teespring that you can see on the screen, and he gets donations through Twitch, and he gets fucking subs and bits and shit, which are also donations.
Money from Microsoft and YouTube to even
You getting
stay alive,
donations from your fans to
right?
stay alive.
Initiative after initiative that sounds good, and then it canceled them all and lay all the people off, right? A company that's in constant disarray and constant chaos that doesn't know. It literally is like it's bipolar. It's a bipolar company. It's almost a schizophrenic company where there's multiple personalities within it. Well, I want to have us be, you know, strong
DSP
for our
does all of
partners.
this,
Well, I
by the
wanna be
way,
a
for his
company
own
that makes a
YouTube
series
channels.
about
It's the
Halo
same
and,
thing.
and fucking Mortal Kombat. Oh, well, I want to have our own YouTube shows.
Oh, well,
that
I
are
want to do
popular.
reviews all the time for KO Gaming. Oh, well, I want to do fucking Let's Plays on every new game that comes out. Oh, I want to do vlogs every time something happens in reaction videos. Oh, well, I want to do Twitch all the time. Same, that's what you do, DSP. Can I call you schizophrenic? Will that be okay? Or would it wouldn't be okay, huh? Because you're a human or some fucking corny shit like that. I make mistakes, I'm a human.
And they all argue with each other and override with each other like different personalities bouncing around in a schizophrenic's head, and no one knows what the hell this company's supposed to be. So how could you ever have success with a company that has no definitive identity?
Really? You can't.
I only went to business school for 4 years, and I fucking know that. Apparently the CEO of Machinima doesn't. This There's
plenty of businesses that have multiple different ways of making income, DSP.
The board of directors of a bunch of places thinks that he knows how to run this company, yet all they've done is fucking fail.
As a matter of fact,
to become the
focusing on
CEO.
one thing is
So,
actually going to
I
lead
can
to
tell you what
failure.
happened
Because if
here.
that one thing
They
fall apart,
fired
then you
everyone.
fuck.
They, for some reason, oh no, we didn't
As a
make
matter
enough
of
money.
fact,
They
a
just put
perfect
everyone out.
example of only relying on one thing is going to eventually lead to horrible failure. Look at DSP. He relied on making YouTube videos and relied on just getting views. And then Machinima said, oh no, you can't get money like that anymore. And it completely fucked them over. And even if you don't look at it that way, he relied on making YouTube videos, period. That stopped working, just fell apart completely, fell off completely. And he's trying to tell us that doing more than one thing isn't gonna work because you need to focus on one thing. But you focus on one thing, what if that one thing fall off? What if you was making, like for instance, what if you ran a beer company before, I can't think of the name of that shit. The thing where it was illegal to buy beer. You ran a beer company. Now I know, oh well, beer is illegal. Now you have to either break the law to keep yourself in business or just go out of business. Or sit around and hope they fucking reverse the law. You know what I mean? He went to school for 4 years though, so he knows what he's talking about by default.
But probably that guy who was the head of the partnership program for me, they got rid of him on a whim.
On a whim.
Fuck him. Let's get someone new in here. And by the way, I actually found out the new head of the partnership program at Machinima. Guess who he is? He's a guy who's a fighting game community head. And
It could have been
literally, since
him.
he's become the
That
head
could have
of
been
the
you,
partnership
DSP.
program, you know what he does? He goes to fighting game tournaments and he promotes the tournaments. And that's pretty much it from what I've seen. Like, he's really heavily into competitive fighting games. Now, everyone knows the competitive fighting game community hates me because I speak out about their bullshit all the time, especially in 2016. The amount of times that I spoke out against Street Fighter V, right?
He shit
So
on one
anything,
game. That's not shit on the
right? During this whole
community.
issue going on with the ad revenue stuff at Machinima, and me making half as much money in February, if they even went to that guy, which they should have, he probably said, oh, I know that guy, fuck him. He talks shit about the fighting game community, he talks shit about Street Fighter V, we're not going to help him. You know, and it's ridiculous.
He's actually trying to imply that the head of Machinima Partnerships didn't help him out because he hated on Street Fighter V. Nothing clicks in his mind that other fighting games exist. You can actually be a part of the fighting game community and not just jack Street Fighter V off. You do realize this, right, Darkseidfield? Wow, this dude is fucking stupid.
like I said, I never did anything wrong with Machinima. In there, I never violated a policy. I never did anything wrong with them, ever. And all I did was try to basically stick up for myself and keep myself afloat and not have my business fall apart. And to be treated with such disrespect from them was the last straw, to which I said, I don't want to work with you anymore if that's how it's going to be. And then they cut me from the contracts, basically. So it was mutual, honestly.
No, it was mutual, but it was out of the blue.
Step up and help me. I don't
mutually out of the blue.
And they said, okay. And then they released me from my contracts. And that's what happened.
Wow.
Okay. Now, it sucks.
Also, by the way, this is an hour and 12-minute long video. You can legit watch 15 minutes of it and get the whole story. No one else cares about all of this 6 years ago, this happened bullshit, to be honest, but whatever.
It's managed partnership since 2013.
We all in for the ride.
Since this happened, since I'm now no longer in these contracts with Machinima, guess what? Hundreds of my videos have now
What does this have to do with anything?
Hundreds, if not thousands at this point. My Grand Theft
What does this have to do with this? What does this have to do with this topic of the video? The video is about why you're not with Machinima anymore and your story with them. Now, what happened after you left? Who cares?
Playthroughs, all random stuff is a random music are all getting claimed because I'm not under the protection of a managed partnership anymore, and it's bullshit. So it sucks. They literally hurt me by mistreating me and then cutting me like that the way that they did. But you know what? The bottom line is this. Since I left Machinima, here's what's happened. I feel more independent. I feel more driven to do
He feels more independent when he's just a part of another partnership program. He feels more driven. Why and how? Since he left Machinima, he started being a primary Twitch streamer. He could have did that 2 years ago. He could have did it a year ago. He could have did it 4 years ago. The fuck is he talking about? This has nothing to do with him not being with Machinima.
I'm now focusing.
That has nothing to do with Machinima.
Than on YouTube.
That's YouTube,
And yes, my
not
video
Machinima.
style has changed. You see pop-up messages and I say thank yous and I interact with the stream chat. But you know what? Every day I'm having far
My
more
videos are
fun.
complete garbage now because it ruins all of the fucking. It ruins it, period. Because I'm talking to fucking jackasses in chat all day and saying, oh, thanks for the 25 bits. My videos are ruined now, but guess what? I'm having more fun. You mean to tell me making more money doing something means you're gonna have more fun doing it? No way. Would have never guessed.
Doing it than I did.
No way. Would have never
Here's
guessed.
the truth. The entire time that I was with Machinima, not once ever did they do anything for me in regards to helping me
They gave
grow
you
my
free
channel,
games.
to helping me
They
become
gave
more
you free
popular on
games.
YouTube.
Sent you to PAX, I think. I don't know, but they gave you free games and sent you to E3. I think that's promoting you and helping you grow your channel. You didn't turn it into anything. He could have turned getting Fallout 4 early into whatever you wanted to. It's your fault you didn't turn it into anything. But he actually wanted Machinima to hold his hand and say, here, come here, Phil. Go play in the fucking sandbox where it says so HPKC and you do some collab videos with them so you can get more popular. He actually wanted Machinima to do stuff like that. He wanted them to flat out tell him to collab with people and find people for him to collab with. That's not how YouTube works. You don't fucking artificially make collabs like that. It's going to be a really bad time, and the videos are probably going to be pretty bad. Hey, we're contractually obligated to collab, bro. You down? But he knows what he's talking about.
It was always, oh, if something goes wrong, then we'll try to help you. Oh my God, you know, the content ID system will get you into a managed partnership. Oh my God, you got false copyright strikes, we'll try to get those cleared up. But never was I ever, even at the height of my popularity, like I said,
They sent you to
one call I got
E3.
from Machinima was, gee, why don't you become a game
They sent you to
commentator for
E3.
tournaments instead of making my YouTube channel better and turning it into something
The hell is he
that's gonna be
talking
long-term
about?
Successful. And I was like, what the hell kind of call is this? You know? So it's so weird, the experience I've had with Machinima. I've had big successes and there's been tremendous failures. And the fact that this company never, ever could be coherent, they always seemed schizophrenic and chaotic and always people in and out the door. I could never have the same point of contact for more than a few months. And then these last few days, you know what I mean? These last few months where what a horrible falling out where they don't want to help me and they're, you know, dragging their feet and they're basically insulting me. To hell with that, you know? I would rather be with a company that's not going to respond at all than a company that's going to basically talk down to you and treat you like a kid. I can't contact someone who's helped me dozens of times in the past couple of years.
Yeah, because they don't work
with issues like this.
anymore,
You're gonna
dummy.
yell at me and talk down to me like a child. Go fuck yourself. I'm an adult. Sorry, I'm the one who operated a successful YouTube channel. Me. Me. I'm the one who puts out the content that's entertaining and
Yeah,
has
look
a
how
fan base.
successful he
Me.
is. He had to change his entire video style to pander to Twitch, to stay around. He had to start a Patreon to stay around. And he has a Teespring with his Shield shirts to stay around. Very successful YouTube channel.
I'm the one, not you. You're the company that just took a cut of ad revenue and protected me from copyright issues. It's not some grandiose thing where you're better than me or you know better than me.
The equivalent of what he's doing right here is like if the fry cook at McDonald's was like, I'm the reason why this fucking franchise is still going. I'm the fucking reason why you still exist. You should be ashamed of yourself to talk down to me as the lowly employee because I'm running this fucking show. You see me put those fucking burgers on a goddamn fryer? Those fucking Big Macs wouldn't be made if it wasn't for fucking me. That's pretty much what he's doing. That's pretty much what he's doing. Because being a content creator, whatever the fuck you want to call it to sound fancy, whatever you want to be for Machinima, you're basically a fry cook. You at the bottom of the bottom. You work for them. You put stuff out. They take some of the money with no effort from them. Give you some of it and you happy with it. And you deal with it. But this is the fry cook. This is the dude that literally cooks the fucking meat that's already been prepared. He doesn't even have to season it. He puts it on a skillet, warms it up basically, puts it in between some shit and says, here you go. This is the equivalent of a McDonald's fry cook complaining to the CEO saying, I run this fucking company. I run this show. It's my hard work. That's why y'all still here. This dude thinks he is so fucking cool and he is such hot shit and he is far from it.
I'm the one who put the content on YouTube.
I'm the one who put the
content
fucking
creators
patty on a fryer. Where's my $1 million a year salary?
Are the ones who made the site successful, not the partnership companies, not Google or YouTube itself, the content creators. We're the ones who should be treated with fucking respect. It's insane that you would ever be talked down passively aggressively by one of these MCNs. You ever get that? You say, fuck you, and you get the fuck out of there. Because the bottom line is, they're not worth your time. If they're going to disrespect you, and they're going to treat you like that, and it's a shame, because like I said, there were people who worked for Machinima over the years who I was very friendly with. They never had this issue. They were very respectful. Like I said, that previous head of the partnership program, amazing. He helped me out tons, and we had a great relationship, and they were sending me free game. And then it all ended, probably because that fucking genius silver spoon in his mouth CEO, oh, I don't like that initiative anymore. It's not making money. Fuck them. Cut them.
It's not making money. Yeah, he's dumb because he got rid of something that wasn't making money.
Lay them off. And that's how corporate America.
You mean to tell me corporate America, if something isn't making money, they stop doing it? No way. No way. Guess what, DSP? When stuff not making money and you keep doing it, you go out of business. Or you become desperate. Just like you. What the hell is wrong with this dude?
There's one thing you gotta understand too. It's not just Machinima that's like this. Corporations do this all the time. Why do you think I was laid off from my job, in 2010? I was getting.
Were they supposed to pay you even though they didn't have the money to?
Building. All my management was.
We should go out of business to keep paying people?
This actual document, this thing, also like a diploma that they said that you should frame it and put it here at your job, at your cubicle, to show that you went above and beyond. And in 2 months, they got rid of me. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? And that's how these corporations are. And that's how all these companies are. They see it as like an asset or a tool. And that's fucked up. They got to realize that there's a human factor when it comes to this business. Yes, I know it's business, but there's a human factor.
So the people that fired him almost 10 years ago, by the way, and he still cries about this. The people that fired him almost 10 years ago were supposed to say, okay, we're making less money. This dude making a lot of money. If we get rid of this dude, we might be able to somehow fucking rejuvenate everything and maybe not go under. You know what? He's a human. He's a human. He wakes up every day just like we do. You know what? Let's keep paying him. And let's possibly go out of business to keep paying Phil. What business would DSP run? He didn't talk before about owning a restaurant. So if he got 20 people hired at his restaurant and he only need 10, you mean to tell me he's not going to fire the 10 that he doesn't need? Because they're humans, right? And he doesn't want to be a corporation. Yeah, people that act like that go out of business very fast. And they go into horrible debt because they fucked everything over. They fucked everything up.
And for someone to be treated like that, no,
Take a sip.
It's not worth it, man.
Shitty fucking mug.
It's not worth it. And you know what? Now that I'm focusing more on Twitch, and even though I'm not in a managed partnership or whatever right now, I'm far happier doing it. And you know what? Enough of that shit. Don't ever let someone treat you like that in life. Seriously. But, so that's the deal. That's what happened. I know. That's crazy. Out of nowhere, basically not getting help.
Out of nowhere.
Treated from a company that had told me previously, you know, all this ways to help me and everything. I know.
They told him.
That's what happened. That's the God's honest truth of what happened.
They told him a bunch of ways to help him. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But he trying to imply that they helped him a lot. But in the same video, he said over all of these years they didn't help him, even though they sent him to fucking E3. He can't keep his story straight.
Happened, you know. I didn't disclose anything there that I wasn't supposed to. I didn't tell you any ad revenue.
None of that matters
I didn't
anyway.
tell you
Who
any
cares about
contractual
that?
Agreements, nothing like that. It was all knowledge that was agreed to. I didn't violate any non.
Who cares? You're not signed to him anymore.
In general, I couldn't tell you about.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Like that. But yeah, it's been a crazy ride, and you know the ride's over now with Machinima. Now I'm with another company, and honestly, you know, I haven't interacted with them at all. I'm not in a managed partnership. So
Hadn't interacted with them at all.
I don't even know if Curse can help me, honestly.
He actually said the name. He was trying to not say the name. You can tell.
The copyright strike issues.
The stupid Curse or whatever.
Different now because now those false
Twitch
flags
app dudes
don't really work anymore. So people trying to do a piece of fucking fan art, get that? It doesn't really work anymore. You know, any kind of.
What does this have to do with anything?
Another company and put in a false copyright strike. YouTube now.
What does it have to do with anything?
Screens all that, and I'm sure.
What does this have to do with anything?
And I haven't gotten any, so
this is irrelevant.
I don't really think you need that kind of hand-holding management anymore. Okay, when it comes to YouTube. Now, some people have said to me, I'll finish the video like this. They said, Phil, if you had a falling out with Machinima, you're not with them anymore, and you're not in a managed partnership, why on earth are you with another partnership company? Okay, why? Because it's way different on YouTube. A lot of people now don't even go with partnership companies. They just go with Google AdSense or whatever.
I want to know why. I want to hear his bullshit reasoning.
I can't necessarily 100% answer the question. I think originally I did.
He can't 100% answer. Look at his eyes. His eyes are all over the place.
We're talking 2010.
Look at his eyes.
And I'm almost positive that it was.
He has to look at the ceiling to talk.
At that point, gameplay-related content, and therefore it wasn't monetizable. Now I don't remember.
Look how fucking obnoxious this is. I've been watching this video for an hour and 8 minutes. Well, I've been watching the video for an hour and 46 minutes. So for me to be complaining about this now tells you that he hasn't been doing it the entire video, obviously. He talks about this. Well, he actually even say he don't know why he signed to a partnership company. He was like, I don't know 100% why. And then his eyes start going all up at the ceiling and all up at the walls, and he start rolling his eyes when he talking. Who normally does that? He been doing YouTube videos for more than 8 years. He knows how to talk to a camera. I'm supposed to believe somebody that's been doing YouTube videos for 8 years can't even look in the same direction when they talk. It's like if I'm talking to just the camera, I'm not even reacting to anything. I'm looking at the camera right here talking, and I do that for an hour. And then I answer a specific question or talk about a specific situation, and I start doing this and doing that 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 and doing that. Would you believe me? No, you wouldn't. Come on.
If that has
look at his fucking eyes. It's ridiculous. And when he tells the truth, when he tells an obvious truth, he looks straight at the camera. I monetize my vlogs channel, the King of Hate HD. He looks directly at the camera. Everything else he says, he's doing all of this. In the middle of statements, he looks straight at the camera when he's telling the truth. When he's lying, he start doing all of that. It's ridiculous.
They found click fraud. And I was like, well,
see, it wasn't me doing the click fraud, even though in one of his old videos, he said to click on the ads. It's fucking proof out there. Easy to find proof that he said, click on the ads. And of course, when he tells us that he didn't have anything to do with the click fraud, he say it wasn't me, and he looks off to the side.
Fraud. It was obviously other people.
See,
but I can't stop
people from
YouTube
doing
didn't
it.
care and they shut down that channel.
Look at his
I'm
eyes.
Almost positive that was the same AdSense account that was associated with DSP Gaming. So basically what I would have to do is set up a new AdSense account, a new everything, and try to start from scratch and get all that set up.
He's so
Honestly,
stupid.
It was easier for me to just contact Curse and say,
he's so
listen, I know you're
fucking
gonna
stupid.
take a cut or whatever, but if you could just quickly monetize all my videos for me And by the way, Curse offers me a
He's
lot
so
of the things that I
fucking
had
stupid.
with Machinima. Like I had this partnership with a company called Audio
Oh my
Micro
goodness.
that gives me music to put into my edited videos. Now
It's
that I'm with
easier to
Curse, I
give
can still use
somebody
that
else
company.
money
So I liked that. I was
that I
getting,
make
royalties
for an
from music.
undisputed
I can use
amount
it
of
in my videos, and I can
time.
continue to do that. If I didn't do
Undetermined.
that,
I guess
couldn't. Have to go
undisputed
seek out
work
my own
too.
music, and when I
It's
do
easier to
music,
do
still
that
count down
than to
the
go
red
through a
series.
little bit of
It'd
effort
have
to
be,
make
like,
my own
silent,
money.
because I'd have to find music
Wow,
that's
this
not
dude
royalty
dumb.
free, or that's, you know, I can use and have permission, and there's very few things out there that you
What
can
the hell are
use.
you talking about? It's the
So there
whole
are
YouTube channels
benefits
with
to it being with Curse. Now,
free
by the way,
music.
the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, the Curse partnership is very open-ended. Unlike Machinima, where you're always tied into a contract for a certain amount of time, Curse basically says the way that we pride ourselves is that we think our partnership is good enough that you're going to stay with us. But if you want to leave us at any time, just submit a request. And you
They
can
have to
leave.
accept the request
so
to
if
leave,
ever I
though.
get an offer to be in a managed
If
partnership
they don't
again,
accept it,
or I get
then
an
he
offer
can't
for more
leave.
money, you know, a better ad revenue percentage, I can jump ship from Curse, and no harm, no foul from them. That's what their company says up front.
Yeah, a lot of
so there
companies
shouldn't
say
be an
that.
issue. So, in this regard, things are good. Right now, yes, YouTube ad revenue is still down, way down, but because
I'm
doing
begging
good
on Twitch, I can
it's
pay all
kinda
of my
making up
bills.
for it. And what I'm gonna see
And
within
maybe
the
get
next month
married
or
in a
two is
couple
the money I
years.
actually make between YouTube, between Twitch, between the tips and stuff people are giving me on streams, between Teespring, which I got
At least Teespring is a product he sells.
A lot of things are all coming in Patreon.
But all of this other
which
stuff is just
obviously
him
still
asking
helps
for
me out.
free
All
money
the
for
income
nothing.
Sources, can I make
And
as
a
much
lot
money
of
as
it,
I used
too.
to before the ad revenue drop and pay my bills and keep my house and keep everything?
Give me all
Right
this
now,
money
it's
just to
looking good.
pay
I don't
my
wanna say for
bills.
sure, but
I
right
won't
now,
improve
it's all
anything,
right.
you guys.
Let's play it by ear and see how it goes over these next few
Amazing.
months into the summer. But for right now, my severing of my partnership with Machinima is complete. And
Also,
the fact that
I
I'm
like
not
the
under a
little
managed
Patreon and a
partnership-
Teespring and a Twitch shield right at the end of the video. I really appreciate that.
even
Sneak
though
that in
it
the
looks like
end.
some things will be affected, won't massively in the long run negatively affect me, I don't think. If anything, it really sucked because it happened at the time when I was playing Zelda and Nintendo claimed all my fucking Zelda videos. I would have made way more money in March playing Zelda
Money,
if
money,
I hadn't
money.
had those videos claimed, but they were all claimed by Nintendo because I was with Curse and not with Machinima anymore, and that really sucked. So, yeah, Machinima fucked me. Machinima did fuck me in
But
that
you
regard,
told them that
but
you
it
would
is what it
rather
is.
be
I wanted to
gone
leave
and-
anyway. After I got disrespected, that was it, man. There was no way I was going to stay with them and put up with
Disrespected. Disrespected.
that shit. Especially because I wasn't getting
Amazing.
answers or anything anyway from them. So what was the fucking point of staying with
He was a managed partner. That was the reason.
All right, folks. That is
Whatever.
the story. My history with Machinima. I don't know how much of that you knew and how much you didn't know. At this point, I'm happy to be somewhere else, and I'm happy to be doing the stuff the way
Sure,
I'm
y'all.
doing. So let's stay positive for the future. Let's stay away from
Doing
negative
stuff I guess
bullshit
I'll
like
fucking
that.
have to fucking
And
guess.
thanks for watching. I know this was a super
Let's
long
stay
video.
positive for the future. I hope you enjoyed my hour-long video where I outed Machinima.
Informative, enjoyable. And that's it, folks. See you later. Peace out.
Oh boy. Well, that ride is over with. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh man, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't even know what to say. I've been here for almost 2 hours. I have nothing to say. I think I said everything. I think I really said everything I kind of wanted to say in this video anyway. See how much views it's got. 1,700 so far. Don't really know if I feel like reading the comments again. If you complain about people talking down to you, why would you feel inclined to talk down to other people and proceed to insult them and start to insult their upbringing? Yeah. Oh, don't let people talk down to you. But then he shits on this other dude because he was raised in a family that had money and because he went to school and didn't need the government to pay. Like what? Because he went to school and didn't need somebody else to pay for him to go to school. We shit on that? Really? It's unbelievable. It reeks of jealousy and unbridled contempt. You can't jab and poke and berate people just because you think they had more of a privilege in life than you have and many other grudges. Exactly. It's ridiculous. It's like shitting on somebody because they like grew up in the hood if you grew up in a nice neighborhood. It's kind of what he does in a way, except there's reverse. Oh, they grew up with a fucking good upbringing. That fucking piece of shit. They went to an Ivy League school and their fucking parents paid. What a fucking asshole. What a fucking piece of shit that guy is. Ridiculous. Phil is talking about the PewDiePie Levi situation, where PewDiePie's action caused Machinima to lose Levi as a sponsor, whom they relied on so heavily they ended up firing several staff members and asking people to take a non-legally binding contract.